What up? What up? What up? Rec League Podcast, man, episode number 16. Um, my podcast can go get his driver's license now. 16 episodes in the can, man. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the previous 15. Going back, catching up on them if you haven't heard them or seen them. I got another long one for y'all, man, because aside from my dude, Awesome Joe, all the same players come back and we talk Avengers Endgame spoilers. Spoiler heavy, man. If you have not seen Avengers Endgame, do not watch or listen to the movie segment of this episode until you see the movie, of course. Sports, real quick, like that's probably the quickest segment. We touch on little NBA playoffs. We briefly discuss the NFL draft, if that's what you want to call it. Old man Lawrence talks that Canelo fight. Of course, I got the bars, and then Old man Lawrence also talks that Schoolboy Q album, that Bun B Static Selector album, and then we touch on that new Logic single that he dropped with Eminem the other day a little bit. But yeah, like last episode was a little bit unorthodox as far as my format. This one I got back like it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a long one. You could either watch The Dark Knight or Avengers Infinity War or watch this episode of the pod and they could finish around the same time. Who knows? But yeah, like I brought back all of the segments. I know there was a couple that I didn't do last episode, man. But I'm back, man. I want to get back to life. Back to reality. I'm going to talk poll questions, man. I did quite a few poll questions over the past couple weeks. And let me get the older ones. I didn't queue up the older ones. Here we go. I, of course, did the end of the month joints, man. Here we go. I did, Avengers came out, man. So both poll questions last weekend were in-game related. How will you be watching Avengers Endgame? This was a pointless poll because 100% of the votes said in the theater. Nothing for DVD, nothing for on demand, nothing for not interested. And then the second poll question that weekend, in Avengers Endgame, who's the key to stopping Thanos? If you've seen the movie by now, you know who the key was. My choices were Iron Man, Thor, Captain Marvel, and Happy Hogan. And Iron Man wins this poll, 75%. Thor and Happy Hogan tied at 13. Captain Marvel got no votes, which is insanely criminal. Going back up to these poll questions from last weekend, man. R.I.P. John Singleton. Me and Nick Goodman, Eric Stigman. I forgot to ask Old Man Lawrence, man. It's the nature of the beast, man. When you got so much going on, man, you kind of forget sometimes. But John Singleton passed away, man. R.I.P. One of the GOATs, no doubt. And Peter Mayhew also passed away. We didn't touch on that. Like when The Rise of Skywalker comes out, we'll definitely talk Star Wars and all things Star Wars. But poll question number 1 last weekend. I went crazy with poll questions last week. R.I.P. John Singleton, man. Which was your favorite John Singleton movie? And obviously comment unavailable choices, man, because he directed Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, Rosewood, Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson, Baby Boy, Too Fast, Too Furious, Four Brothers, and Abduction. Boys in the Hood wins this, 70%. Poetic Justice, again, criminal. Like, how did nobody vote for Poetic Justice? Four Brothers got 20%. Baby Boy got 10%. And shout out Flicks Talk Podcast. He said like Poetic Justice is like real close to him, man. But like Boys in the Hood was just so influential, and then because of where he's from, where he's based out of, he was just impacted more by Boys in the Hood. And then we got the end of the month polls. You know what I mean? Which was your favorite April release? Comment unavailable answers. Y'all know how I do. Like, what all came out in April, man? Pet Cemetery, Shazam, After, Hellboy, Little, Missing Link, Breakthrough, The Curse of La Bamba, Avengers Endgame. Shazam, Hellboy, Missing Link, Endgame were my choices. Endgame wins 62%. Shazam 33, Missing Link 5, no votes for Hellboy. Which, like, if you haven't seen Hellboy and you want to see it, but you turned off by some of the negative responses, like, it's not bad. Like, Hellboy is not a bad movie, man. And then, hey, May started, so of course I posted the same poll question for May. Which May releases are you most anticipating? Comment, unavailable answers. Um, The Intruder, Long Shot, Ugly Dolls, Detective Pikachu, The Hustle, Palms, A Dog's Journey, John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, The Sun is Also a Star, Aladdin, Booksmart, Brightburn, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Ma, and Rocketman come out. My choices were John Wick, Aladdin, Brightburn, Godzilla. John Wick wins this, like, far and away. 41, not far and away, you know what I'm saying. 41% of votes were for John Wick. 32% were for Aladdin. And then Brightburn and Godzilla tied with 14. And then the last poll question I did... excuse me. The last poll question I did was, like, just out of curiosity, what'd you do last weekend? Oh, snap. I didn't know that... Because the last time I saw this poll, I had Avengers, Game of Thrones, both were neither. Neither had no votes. Neither got a vote snuck in there, I guess, man, because both, like most people are on the hype train for both these franchises. Both got 57%. Avengers got 21. Game of Thrones got 14. And neither got 7. Let me hit this water right quick. So we gonna I'm gonna do like I did last time right quick, and I'm gonna talk new releases theatrically and on Blu-ray and DVD. Theatrically, I mean, we all know Avengers Endgame came out last weekend. Long Shot, Ugly Dolls, like I literally just said this. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting repetitive. Avengers was last weekend. Long Shot, The Intruder, Ugly Dolls was this weekend. I saw Long Shot. Search Randy Little on YouTube. My review is on that channel. And then next weekend, we got Detective Pikachu, The Hustle. And does Palms come out that weekend, next weekend, or does it come out with John Wick? I think it comes out with John Wick, honestly. I might watch The Hustle and Detective Pikachu. I might watch Avengers for a third time. I might only watch Avengers next weekend. I am still undecided. And then, honestly, man, for me, like, the past, like, week or two for, like, Blu-ray releases, DVD releases has been super light. I bought Escape Room to come out 2 weeks ago. And then, like, this past Tuesday, I know Miss Bala came out. Serenity with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway came out. I passed on both of those. Next Tuesday, Lego Movie 2 comes out. Better Call Saul Season 4 comes out. What Men Want come out. And I think that's it. So I mean, if you're looking to add to your movie collections, man, be on the lookout for all of that. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back right quick. I'm gonna flip this right quick, and then we're gonna go into thorough. Like I got with my man's E-Sig, Eric Sigmund, and the Nick Goodman. Hit him on the social media. Sigmund 7 Cinema on Instagram. The Nick Goodman, whatever social media platform you can get on, and then I get with Old Man Lawrence. So between all four of us, not at the same time, but in separate videos, in separate clips, we all talk Avengers Endgame. Heavy spoilers. If you have not seen the movie, just jump to the sports segment, man. Rec League Podcast. All right, we're going to start with the first portion of the Rec League Avengers Endgame discussion. It's been out, 2 full weekends now. 600 and some odd domestically, number 9. It crossed 2 million worldwide. It's days away, maybe a couple weeks away. Like, catching Avatar at this point is inevitable. like Thanos is inevitable. Spoiler discussion. Nothing is off limits. But before we get into Avengers, I want to, R.I.P. One of the GOATs, John Singleton, passed away. I just real quick want to get y'all favorite John Singleton movie. I think it's a little cliche to say Boys in the Hood, but it's a great movie. Like that's the go-to, but that's my favorite. Like we cliche over here. Which whoever want to start, the other one could just jump in and cut them off. Like that's how we do over here. Eric, man, you start, and then next question, Nick, you'll start.
Cool.
It's fair, right?
So this is what Boys in the Hood is. It's probably pound for pound his best movie, his first movie. But if I had to eliminate that, I would say Higher Learning.
It's probably most underrated.
Yeah, definitely most underrated. But it's out of all his movies, other than Boys in the Hood, it's probably the most relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it doesn't age. Maybe technology wise, a pager or two will pop up, but other than that, the issues are real and still the same.
Still the same, no doubt.
Yeah, and it's Higher Learning has to be his. I'll throw one more in, his best commercial movie. I probably have to say Four Brothers.
Yeah, I watched that a few months ago. Man, Four Brothers is so dope.
Yeah, is that the movie that started his relationship with Tyrese, or was that after Baby Boy?
Nah, Baby Boy was 01.
Yeah. He's what, 3-4 movies with Tyrese?
Baby Boy, Too Fast, Four Brothers. Was Tyrese in Abduction?
I don't think so.
I think 3. I haven't seen Abduction.
3. Yeah. But that's unfortunately, I think Abduction is his last feature film.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't want to bash it, but it's like that sucks. Like he was such a dope filmmaker that I'm sure he had other ideas, man. But have y'all seen Snowfall?
Have not. That's a TV show, right?
Yeah, on FX.
Yeah,
it's
that's
phenomenal.
What he stepped into, just producing TV.
Yeah,
and just hanging back.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, those are my answers right there, and yeah, it's a great loss. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, man. What you got, Nick?
Boys in the Hood, I think it's just like you said. Like it's not only is just a great movie. Like it really is. Just sitting back, just watch Boys in the Hood. It's a great movie, but it was such a. I said in my post when he died, like it was like a trailblazing thing because there really weren't movies like that at the time that were that honest and like real about those subjects.
That's why I put something similar.
Yeah, like that, and those actors that he got, were so good for those roles and went on to do such great things, and it went on to inspire other people to make other movies like Menace to Society and South Central, movies like that came after. So I think you kind of got to go Boys in the Hood. It's been a long time since I've watched Higher Learning. Like it's probably been like 15 since that point. And it sucks. Like I say, like it's because I want to go back and rewatch it. It takes somebody to go back and like rewatch the filmography. So that sucks. But I will say, I don't know if it's like definitively like my next favorite one, but I do love Four Brothers. Like I think Four Brothers is like an underrated. Like you kind of lump it in like, oh, it's Walmart like Wahlberg action movie, but like I love Four Brothers. Like Four Brothers made me cry. Like most movies don't. Like you lose somebody, it's like, damn, rest in peace. I remember like watching that like in the theater and like being like, oh my god, this is the hardest death I've ever. Like this is so sad. So yeah, I'll like honorable mention. I'll throw out Four Brothers. But I really like going through other than Abduction, which I've also not seen, but. Like his whole filmography was pretty great. Like I used to watch Baby Boy on Cinemax every time it was on. I was like 11 or something, and I just felt like a grown up. Like I was like, oh, Baby Boy's on. Be right back. Like you gotta go watch.
I need to find Rosewood on TV and like stash it on my DVR until I can get a chance to watch it.
Yeah. And
then like Poetic Justice, man, Baby Boy, Too Fast. Like his big commercial movies were probably Too Fast, Too Furious, and then Four Brothers.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall at the studio meeting, like, what's his name? Like, Taylor Lautner coming off Twilight. Like, here, you want to make a movie? Here's this young, up-and-coming actor. Make a movie based around him. I just wonder how that went.
Yeah.
And then next, just real quick, like I don't even care about getting deep into this. What y'all think about Sonic? Were y'all crying over the look? Do you care? Like how cool is it? Are they gonna? I think like I put on the Rec League Twitter pod on the Rec League Twitter page. I feel like they animated two different Sonics, an ugly one and a game accurate one, and they wanted to like test the waters with the ugly Sonic. You got your negative reaction. This one's all ready to go. The movie's ready. We fooled you all. So they're not gonna animate a new Sonic in like 7 months, right?
Right.
I don't like. I'm just like, people are acting like Sonic the Hedgehog is like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Or something. Like they're like
Mario.
Out, this is not my Sonic, and it's like, what? Like I don't like. He doesn't look good. Like I'm not gonna be like the one that says the movie looks great. Like it doesn't look good.
No, the movie looks bad.
But like, there were pictures of Sonic that came out like months ago. I made a joke about like when Bird Box came out. I like posted a picture and was like, "This is the Bird Box monster that everyone sees." Sonic. So like, it's been a long time. I don't know how so many people missed like the leaked photos.
I think I did.
Like,
yeah, you missed the one with what's his name, Star-Lord, when that supposedly that poster. You know that one, Nick, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a leaked poster. He and Sonic like on top of the car chilling, and it was a concept poster.
I'll have to look it up. I probably saw it and just forgot it because like I like Sonic. Everybody plays Sonic, but I just don't care. I mean, I'm more gonna see it for like goofy Jim Carrey again.
Yeah, Jim Carrey is gonna be the strength of this movie,
no doubt.
That's what people are like freaking out that he doesn't look like Robotnik or what. And again, I'm like, so what? Like, I don't like. Did you think he was gonna come out there like a full circle shaped?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
But the last scene of the trailer, you know.
Yeah.
He's gonna look more like him by the end. I just don't like. It's cooler to me that Jim Carrey is doing like a manic comic role for the first time in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Then it like that's cool to me more than I'm like concerned that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie isn't gonna be like Oscar worthy. Like I'm just like,
yeah. It's just the world we live in. Like let's cry until we get our way. And this is the first time I think a studio's ever said, "Okay, we'll change it. You're gonna give us your dollar and see the movie anyway."
I mean, it is weird that they didn't try to make it look more like Sonic. Like I don't know why they gave him like a human body and like teeth. Like it's weird. Like it's weird choices for sure. But I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what played into this mostly is Sega doesn't have any final say. They're just basically consultants.
That sucks.
It shows.
Yeah, and sit over there in the corner and we'll ask you if we want your advice, consultants. Type of consultants.
Hey Sega, we're gonna turn the rings green. Okay.
I guess. Like,
and if you have a sharp eye into the rings are also going to be transportation devices.
Like little Doctor Strange portals?
Yeah, little portals. There you go.
Huh.
Because why not?
Yeah.
It's like,
we need a loophole in the story.
James Marsden, like, shout out to him for looking the exact same as he did in Hop.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Like, I saw that too.
Like he's making the same movie choices and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more X-Men movies, man.
What was the last movie he was even in?
Probably
Anchorman 2.
Fourth build movie. I mean, because he gets work, but you can't name that one movie.
Yeah. X-Men 3. Or wait. Days of Future Past for like 15 seconds.
Yeah. I'm more just like, every movie, it's like, I'm more concerned that it's like falling back on that like cliche. Like every time they make a live action version of like a cartoon or something like that, it's always like cartoon character meets a human character.
Yeah.
The new Rugrats.
Bring him to our world.
Or like, yeah, Yogi Bear, Alvin and the Chipmunks, like all that stuff. It's all like
gross.
You know, befuddled like guy has to like, He's the only one that can talk to the cartoon character.
Yeah.
This just looks like more of that.
And I think this is why Detective Pikachu is gonna be. I'm liking from the trailers what they're doing with that. It's the world of Pokemon, but it's still realistic to our world, if that makes.
Yeah, it makes more sense doing
Right.
it because that's what Pokemon is. Like it's
Right.
humans interacting with the creatures. I think Detective Pikachu is going to make a lot of money. I think it's
I
gonna,
hope so. Yeah.
I'm starting to hear kind of more mixed reactions. When it first came out, it was like the first reactions to it were really positive. I'm starting to hear more mixed now, but I think it's going to make a lot of money. Like now that everyone's kind of seen Avengers a couple times, I think
Yeah.
she's going to come out with like a pretty high opening. Not as high as Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah, but now I got a problem with that too. Like Transformers is what 4 or 5 or maybe even 6, but I would have liked to have seen Cybertron
Yeah.
in his prime. No pun intended, but
The befuddled human has to like hide their existence from his parents or whatever. And it's like, oh boy. That's
yeah,
what
that's just
lost their minds over the first Transformers, and that was what I thought even back then. I was like, it was good, but I was like, kind of just another movie like that. But turns out that was still the best one. So if you'd have told me back then, I'd have been pissed. I was like, it's not going to get better than this.
No.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
But whatever.
All right, let's slide into Endgame. How many times you guys seen it?
I've seen it twice.
Same.
Actually, I haven't seen it yet, but no, I'm just joking.
Call disconnected.
No, I saw it once. And going to see it tomorrow, actually.
Cool.
Again tomorrow.
Who got up to use the restroom?
Not I.
Either time.
Strong bladders,
2 for 2.
especially
And a
for me. I never got up.
Big bucket of popcorn helped too. Just,
Right.
Have a drink. Like I didn't.
We all grown, man. It's 2019 though. Who cried?
Yes.
I did not cry. I like, you know, it was just like one of those things like he did it, you know, he did it for all of us.
Yeah.
But like the tattooed like large gentleman beside me was like like straight up. I'm not making fun. Like I'm not.
No,
Like he was like exhaling and like, you know, the quiet moments following certain scenes, like you just hear sniffles and stuff and like the big ass IMAX theater, you just and so I was like, wow, this is it.
Man, like
But
I'm a
no,
big
I
I'm a
can't-
big MCU fan as anybody, man. But somebody was cutting onions. There was perspiration or whatever you want to call it. There was build up. Nothing fell though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like 5 times.
Mm.
Because it was
Multiple times my like
I
heart
could-
sank.
I lost.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't stop him. We lost, Tony. That hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Yeah.
Tony's whole decrepit wheelchair scene, recalling Ultron. You're like, I said, what about up there? You said we lose too. You said we lose together, and you weren't there. And then like I cringed, like he ripped. Like I know it's like the nanotech, like it's not in him anymore, but he ripped that off his chest, put it in Cap's hand. Like damn, like man, this is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like even immediately, like the Hawkeye scene right in the middle,
Yeah.
the beginning, I thought was phenomenal way to open the movie. Just like that small way to open the movie.
Yeah.
And like I knew what was coming, 100%. I feel like everyone did. Like you know, this is what. But like right when it happened, like my head was in my hands, like immediately, like 2 minutes in the movie, I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is.
And you could tell they knew we would know it. This the way they played it, the way they shot it. And
Yeah. Like, you know it's coming, but I was just like, this got real fast. Like, I was like,
right.
no time
Yeah.
for this. So,
It was the perfect way to open because I like thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like I told y'all last time, my man's was like, how do they open the movie? Like, what are they gonna do to open this movie? And it never clicked. Like Hawkeye's effect on the decimation, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
it really, because as soon as like opened just with the era, and it was like everyone goes shh, like everyone got quiet like so fast. I was like, this is nice. This is a nice change of pace.
Right?
You have little kids just making noise, and everybody was like, nope.
And like what I feel like was a nice touch. Like I'm jumping ahead like 10 minutes. But what I felt like was a nice touch was like Thanos was really out there farming.
Yeah.
Legit, like clothes, fruit, cooking, all of that. Like he took it back to like I don't know, like 1953. He was really out there farming.
Yeah, and like he had his scarecrow up.
Yeah.
As if he didn't wipe out half of the population of crows, and he were gonna get there. Like, yeah, like he was like not kidding. He was like, I'm gonna smile, you know,
and rest.
And like that's what he did. Like he wasn't kidding. Like he was happy out there.
Watch the sunset on a balanced universe.
Yeah, dressed like Shrek.
Oh yeah,
like
exactly like Shrek.
Like he did what he said he was gonna do. It's like she says. Like he was not playing around. Now he's happy.
And see, like I think. I don't know, like I wasn't in the writer's room. I had no input. I'm not collecting any of this 2 point whatever billion. But like I wanted to see the end battle with the Thanos that snapped everybody. And we basically got Thanos from like Guardians of the Galaxy. And it was still phenomenal. I still geeked out. But it's still not the Thanos that actually did it. If I had to have a nitpick.
But you know what? That's what threw us all for a loop. And when Thor did what he did, spoiler, when Thor went for the head, like, okay, this is 8 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. Like, so I was like, so what now?
Even though we knew time travel was going to happen, like, man.
Right. Oh, man, that's something I wanted to write down. Like, what did we say last podcast that we actually got right? I think maybe just the time travel.
Yeah. It was like, we were talking about, like, the whole thing, like, do you think that all the footage in the trailers was actually from the first 20 minutes?
And it wasn't.
And like, it wasn't, but I was surprised at how much what. Like,
most of it was.
Like, there were, like, the whole, like, them on the spaceship and Captain Marvel, like, pretty much all the Captain Marvel footage was, like, from that. And, like, I would have bet, they're on a spaceship. They're going to, and, like, Cap shaving his beard. Like, I thought that there was going to be more stuff, like, him shaving his beard later or something. I don't know. But I was like, shocked at how much, all that was just from that first, 10, 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. But speaking of the trailers, stuff that I've noticed, that they subtle changes. What's her name? Black Widow's hair in the scene when Ant-Man comes in the trailer, her hair is blonde. They CG'd her hair. The scene, the Do You Trust Me scene, they CG Cap's suit. So we wouldn't know that they were in the past. Because in the movie, it was the 2012 Cap suit.
Oh, okay.
And in the movie, they darkened it to look like the modern one or whatever. And another scene, they obviously don't show Professor Hulk and Thor, and then the hero walk, the quantum suits.
When I got another one, when Rocket's on War Machine's shoulder, like Ant-Man's not behind him. In the movie, he was big as fuck.
Right, that's true. And it's some other little subtle ones, but Marvel marketing is real smart about that. But the Russos announced that tomorrow, Monday, is the end of the spoiler ban. But
when this
TV
podcast
spot marketing didn't get that memo.
No, they didn't.
They're showing Fat Thor and.
That's what I was telling people at work. Like, as soon as the movie come out, the TV spots got all the spoilers.
Yeah.
I've seen Fat Thor. I've seen Professor Hulk. I've seen
Cap versus Cap.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Have I seen? Yeah, I've seen her.
Mm-hmm. And they had the Cap versus Cap shot when they banging the shields.
Yep. Which, like, come on, like that was such a good part in the movie.
That is America's ass.
You know there's time travel, but you don't know for sure until you see it. So it's like, and even still, it's like you don't know what they're gonna do when they get, like, even I didn't, like, when it was like 2012.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, what are they gonna do? And like I didn't know they were gonna get into all the stuff that they got into. So like showing the Cap versus Cap was kind of lame. Like I was like, I guess like if you're not that into it, like if you're like a casual watcher, you could be like,
at this point, if you want to see Endgame, like whether you watching or whether you listening, at this point, if you're gonna go watch movie 22 and you haven't seen the previous movies, you're just doing yourself an injustice.
Yeah.
I went and saw, like, okay, so my mom has been home all week, and I've been hanging out with her, and just to keep us entertained, I got her into it a little. She had seen some, just like here and there. So I had her rewatch Avengers 1, Age of Ultron, Civil War, and then I had her watch Ragnarok, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Infinity War. She had already seen Homecoming and Black Panther and, like, maybe some other ones here and there, but, like, just to, like, get her ready for Endgame, because I was like, I'm going to go see it again. So I took her to see it, and she was into it enough that she definitely cried watching Endgame. Just, like, with I thought that those were pretty, like, okay choices. But I was like, even the people, like, if you aren't even doing that much work, like, you know, watching at least, like, the last few, or, like, Wikipedia, like, look it up to see what you missed.
I
like,
read the synopses.
Like, any work. Yeah, like the synopses. Like, I looked up the synopsis.
Wink, wink.
Then, yeah, like, sorry you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
3-hour movie that was, like, for, you know, the people.
And what's the name? Like, I feel like Chris Evans had, like, way more curses in his script this time. Like, did y'all think language every time Cap cursed?
Yeah,
I know I did.
Language to being the one who cussed the most in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be shitting me.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go get this son of a bitch.
Like,
yeah. And of course, then
that is America's ass.
Oh, man.
That was fun. I'm sorry, but that shit was funny. I don't know who made it funnier, like Ant-Man just like fanboying out over Cap's ass in the Loki capture scene, or him beating himself and then just like confirming, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's tripping.
A lot more comedy. Like, they're always funny.
Yeah.
But like the amount of comedy that they got out of the premise was also surprising to me. Like, I was like, this is gonna be the darkest chapter.
Yeah, just
like, it was like funny. It was like might have even been one of the funnier movies. Just like them playing around with the time travel and getting all those characters together, and like it just like made way for like more comedy than I expected, which I enjoyed. Like there weren't any like jokes that I thought were like lame or inappropriate, like, you know, that feels out of place.
I don't think
like I thought it was
like 100% of humor never works in any movie, but I'm never one of these like, oh, Marvel movie, like I don't want to laugh. Like, you know what you're getting into by now.
No, like there's definitely like it's like it just works. Like the image of the Hulk like eating food and like wearing glasses, like that's funny. So they didn't try to like push it too hard. They were he's just like
first
like,
time,
that's funny.
Yeah, like first time around, I thought Professor Hulk was kind of lame, and I was let down by like the lack of Hulk in Infinity War was such a huge part of that movie. I wanted to see how Banner and Hulk came to this agreement. I just didn't want dialogue of, hey, we made a compromise and now we take pictures of the kids.
Yeah.
And it took me maybe until Tony showed up at the compound to like, okay, yeah, like I can tolerate Hulk like this. But it took some getting used to.
Mm-hmm. And let me go ahead, Nick.
I was just real quick. The Hulk was fine. To me, like, it didn't bother me. Like, just because I think we talked about how we kind of thought Professor Hulk was coming.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, oh, that's now. To me, and I wouldn't even say, like, I had trouble adjusting to it. It was more jarring, like, the Thor thing.
Yeah.
Like, they really committed to this for the whole rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Nah, like, not the Thor thing. Everything's on the table. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Thor got fat. Because I think that was like the storytelling way of saying that he took the snap the hardest.
Yeah, of course. Because he could have was the closest to stopping it. And he's just depressed and
ate his feelings.
And one thing I liked about that, another thing I like, they of course it's played for a joke, but they didn't just play it for a joke and get rid of it.
Yeah.
They kept.
So they committed to it for the whole. But it was like weird because it was funny. Like the first image of him out was like a big laugh. But I liked that it was like, because he did, I think, take it the hardest because he didn't go for the head. And like even that scene in the shack, like where he's like crying about it, like it worked. Like I was like, you know, it makes sense that he would have just kicked back and just kind of let himself go and not done his job as much as like Nat and Cap stayed doing their jobs.
Yeah. And speaking Speaking of that, Natalie Portman. Now, I don't know if you heard that. I know you know that the footage in Endgame is archive footage of her.
Yeah.
Is it?
And they did go after her, and she she had a problem with the
Patty
way they
Jenkins,
got rid of the original director of The Dark World,
who made a great Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was Patty Jenkins, right?
Yep.
And so she just turned him down outright. So that this footage in Endgame is archive footage.
But then she showed up at the premiere.
Yeah, that's supporting her friends, I guess.
I guess. So then I kind of didn't put my foot in my mouth because I said on Twitter, everybody seeing Natalie Portman at this Endgame premiere, Twitter instantly assumed she's in the movie.
Yeah.
And then she was in the movie, but I didn't know that was archive.
Because also think about this.
Didn't she have lines?
No, she didn't.
Not so much. There's something in there about like when they gave her clothes, like they gave her dress to wear, and you hear her.
You hear speaking.
Okay.
He's like, "Do you have pants?" And they were like, "What are pants?" And
Yeah.
This will work. But like Thor and Rocket are off like talking, so it's like you don't play.
Right. It's just throw away in the background.
But yeah.
All right.
But the screenwriters, because notice how much Thor interacts with his mother.
Yeah.
During that scene, that was supposed to be Jane.
No shit.
According to the screenwriters.
I think I like the mother better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it works. I liked it. I'm glad it went that route.
Because we would have all, I think, in that situation, I would have wanted to talk to my mom.
Yeah, no doubt.
But no, that was just an interesting little tidbit on that. But
and that's
they made
like,
it work.
Like again, like Fat Thor was only for laughs. But without Fat Thor, we don't get like that money. Like everybody's saying, "I love you 3000." That's one of the most touching, sweetest moments of the movie. But without Fat Thor, we don't get that Lebowski line, and I died when Tony said that because he had that sweater on and all.
Like they milked it. It wasn't just fat jokes. Like I think there's some people taking issue. I haven't really seen anything though. Like they play the one thing like, oh, it's a fat joke. But like the rest of it, it's not that he's fat. It's just like while they're all talking about the plan, he's like
drunk,
asleep and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's just like a drunk. Like the whole thing was funny. Like
yeah,
talking about the ether and like it's not actually a stone, it's a sludge. So I don't know who said it was a stone. And like it just worked. Like it was just funny. Like it makes sense that 5 years would have changed the character.
Right. And Nick, in that throwaway line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In that throwaway line, he picked something that the little nitpickers had a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
With the ether being because people were complaining about like, it wasn't a stone in Dark World. It was now all of a sudden a stone. You know, some people did complain about it, but I'm glad they addressed that.
Everybody complains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fix everything for everybody at all times.
Did they kind of turn him into Aquaman though?
You talk about the look a little bit,
and like the location and drinking.
I thought that the second time I saw it, I was like, "This isn't not Aqua." Like I was like, "It's like a thing doc," but it kind of came and went really quick once it came out and he was fat. Then it was just like, he's fat.
Yeah.
Did Jason Momoa kind of get like a consulting check?
Yeah, and like now that we're on that, did they ever? They never talked about how Valkyrie and like Korg and them survived.
Yeah. I guess for that, there's just you go with the kill half, save half of Thanos's.
But he blew up the ship. I guess they can survive in space.
Yeah, I mean, remember they left before the movie started. That's what I'm thinking because it was a distress call.
Yeah, but the Guardians were on their way to answer the call, and when they got there, everything was blown up.
Yeah.
I guess we're not supposed to.
See, that too. Speaking of the Guardians, will Thor be in Volume 3?
Yeah, the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
I hope they don't call it that, but yeah.
Nah, they won't.
I don't think James Gunn is like, no, don't alter my title, bro.
Nah. There's possibility of an extended cameo. I hope so.
I do too.
He's gonna be in it. I don't think he'll be like in the movie. Like, I don't think it's gonna be Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth,
right?
Galaxy 3. I think like Thor will be maybe in it, but like off doing something for most of the movie.
Yeah.
While they
It'll be like Robert Downey in Homecoming.
Yeah.
yeah, like that. It's like
Yeah.
I still
I
dig
think
that.
he enlisted, but also not gonna be a permanent member of the team.
Yeah.
Maybe he will. Like maybe maybe we're wrong. I don't know.
Supposedly, Taika Waititi pitched to Thor 4 to Marvel.
Mm.
I think
I'm down for
Thor
more
needs
Thor.
to be in more movies. Like he's not even, like I said, like he's still young. Like,
Yeah.
He's like 34, 35. Like, and Ragnarok was like easily Thor's biggest.
No doubt.
So
Best Thor movie.
yeah, so
For sure.
I think at least one more Thor solo movie, because like he's really the only one who's still active by the end of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
boom, Hawkeye is trying to stay retired,
Right, his family.
and like, Cap is old. They should make another Cap movie.
He's old. I don't know if I was going that direction, but do y'all think that Anthony Mackie gets his own Cat movie, or does he become like a supporting Avenger?
Well, they got the show. That's my question. What's the?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the show is going to be about what Falcon is Cap, or
Is he gonna be? Is he gonna be Captain America on Disney Plus?
I think, if I had to guess, I think they're gonna tread the waters with him, like in another movie as Cap first, to like if people like love it, and then maybe give him his own movie. I think like either they'll do like another Avengers or like another some kind of assembling kind of Civil War-esque like movie where they're all together, and that'll be like a reveal, like, oh, look at his suit or something. Like they'll like kind of like introduce him in another movie.
You can't lose a battle rap to Eminem and then get the shield.
Now, let me ask you this, or both of you, something we haven't mentioned, and I'm sure, or hopefully we share the same theory on it. Loki in Endgame.
Yeah, I was hoping there was going to be something at the end, because like, I don't know, like the whole time travel thing, it's like they acted like, this is set, like these are rules that shit, but like it's all bullshit. Like none of, like, no, but we all kind of only half really understood. Like,
Yeah.
they could have changed it and I'd have been like, okay, I guess. But like the whole thing with Loki picking up the Tesseract and disappearing in 2012, I thought maybe that they were going to do something fun with that later in the movie. Like maybe even like I was waiting for an end credits scene. Like I had heard that there wasn't one, and then I was like, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
I sat through the credits a second time.
What if he just showed up somewhere holding the Tesseract? Like, I don't know how that would have screwed up the space-time continuum or whatever the fuck, but I was like, I would buy that. I would be like, oh, Loki's alive.
But the theory is, at least mine. So everybody's asking, what is the Loki TV show going to be about?
That's what I was just gonna say.
And that's got to be a backdoor way to get him, into his television show somehow.
Yeah, it's like you plug the stones back in where you got them. Cap created his own alternate reality, but I don't think that affects 2012 and that Tesseract. So yeah, that could be a backdoor into his show, which could be cool.
I read somewhere that someone, and I don't even know if it's real. Like I don't believe everything I read until like I read it for sure from somebody important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I read somewhere that the Loki show might be about him, just like in important moments in time, like history.
I heard that too.
Like how he affected those moments. Like he's the reason the Leaning Tower is leaning or something like that.
So he's like Disney's
funny.
Pennywise.
Yeah, like I don't know if I love that for a show, but like that's kind of funny.
The coolest idea I've heard from Disney Plus is like that what if Peggy Carter was Captain America's show?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds cool.
That would be cool. I think it's going to be... Did they say that that's going to be animated?
I think so.
That would probably make more sense than getting like all of those actors to do all those crazy things.
Yeah. There's like all these Phase 4 like supposed like rumors and stuff. Like this movie all start filming at this time, and it's like so many people are
Right.
saying this, but Disney and Marvel aren't saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just waiting for Comic-Con.
Right. I'm sure we've all seen. I've seen like 3 different versions of the list of the future movies.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, man.
Those lists get on my nerves so much.
Yeah, like the people on my Facebook that like, and like that box set, like the Blu-ray
Yeah.
box set.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
was
not
shot
coming
down
out.
immediately.
Like, and I see so many people like, well, better start saving my money.
Where do
now.
I pre-order?
Yeah.
So, bro, like Universal and Sony, like if I was Disney, like I'm just not messing with Universal and Sony to even try to get that box set put out.
Disney don't. I'm trying to think of the last box set Disney even put out.
Like Phase
we're getting-
1?
Yeah, like they don't. Not 22 movies in a box set.
Yeah.
Who
Nah.
does that? It's gonna be
That's
like
insane.
$400.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like most people already have them anyway. Like I wouldn't buy the box set.
Mhm.
It'd be tempting, but I just from my collector head. But
Right.
buy it.
Were there any were there any parts of the movie that like threw you off and like gave you headaches, but then like you just settled like, well, if you plug the stone back in, it's not an issue. Like 3 different times that happened to me, and I was had to let it go.
Yeah, let's hear him.
I think now you're gonna make me try to remember. I think it was Mjolnir, him taking, because one of my boys brought up Thor taking the hammer from the Dark World Asgard,
Yeah.
and then Cap taking it when he plugged the stones back in. See, that was my mentality. Like Cap just put it back. It was never gone because Cap put it back.
Right.
And then him coming back with the shield, I think was like just alternate reality. He never became Captain America, so the shield was never used, so he could pass that shield on because Thanos destroyed his.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of which, just backing on one thing, the shield in the commercial wasn't broken.
Right.
The shield in the trailer and then of course in the movie. Speaking of alteration, but I'm sorry to throw that in there.
Nah, you good. One of my biggest disappointments in the whole like past few years, we never got that. Like we never got Tony's vision from Ultron. Like what he saw, what Scarlet Witch put in his head, we never got that. And like when that set picture came out with Spider-Man, Star-Lord, and Iron Man, like in front of like what looked like that same set, I was like, yes, we're getting it in one of these Avengers movies, and it just never happened.
Yeah.
I thought maybe like, there's a part of me thought that like, okay, they'll play around with time travel. Doctor Strange said, and I looked through all these different things, and we only won one of them. I thought maybe since it was 3 hours, I was like, well, maybe they're gonna go through a few of the ones where they don't win, and then be like, shit,
That would have been
Let's try-
cool.
and like go back and like, well, we screwed that up.
Thanos, I've come to make a bargain.
Yeah, like I thought maybe we would get the Age of Ultron thing, and then that would like mess up Tony's game, and then he'd go back and they'd be like, oh, let's just do it again. He'd be like, no, I can't do it again. And I don't know. I'm getting dramatic, but like I also thought maybe that would show, because he even mentions it in the beginning of the movie. He said he had a vision, and Age of Ultron ended up being kind of an important one to rewatch before this one.
Yeah.
I showed it to my mom, and I was like, I'm glad I showed you this.
So you spoke, Randy, about Cap having the hammer, but what did we think about that moment when he summoned it?
Like I think I said it in my spoiler-free review. Like I never clap at big moments, like the reveal of Cap in Infinity War, etc. Like big ass moments. Like when Cap caught Mjolnir, I clapped. Like that was the coolest part of the movie for me.
That was good because it made sense. Like it was one of those things where like you might get one of those like the kid from the Polar Express being like, well, actually, like it just like you couldn't do that. Like I don't know if he ever did that in the comic books. Like there's probably one where he did somewhere, but I'm like,
is
Yeah.
It just makes sense. It's like, why wouldn't Captain America be worthy of in the hammer? Like it was just satisfying. It was just one of those parts where it was like, yes, like we needed that to happen. It makes sense that happened.
No.
The cherry on top.
You
Thor
take the
said,
small
I
one.
knew it.
Yeah. I don't think I caught that the first time, but the second time, like Thanos has Thor pinned down, and like you see the hammer come up, but Thor's not calling it,
Right.
and it flies past and it comes back and knocks Thanos on his ass and then goes to Cap. That hero pose.
The pose.
Yeah, bitch. And I knew it. It was real quick, but yeah, Thor, like, cause he knew since Ultron. Like, again, taking it back to Age of Ultron, Steve is the only one to budge the hammer.
Right.
And I feel like if he would have kept going, he could have picked it up. And it was just like to show Thor, like, if I wanted to.
Be worthy.
Yeah. And like that's all I know about the comics. That I think if Thor died, he like wanted Cap to inherit the hammer.
Yeah, like it just makes sense. Like it's just a satisfying thing. Like it wouldn't have made sense if someone else had lifted it. It just made sense. It's like, why wouldn't Steve Rogers be worthy of lifting the hammer? So now he is.
Vision picked it up. Could Bucky pick it up with his fake arm? We'll never find out, but
I don't think that's how it works.
He's a machine.
And just like keep going back to Ultron, they were asking a question. So you
goes
put
up
it in an
elevator,
and the elevator goes up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a machine. It's not worthy. Yeah, I mean, Ultron's a lot of fun, and like it ties heavily into all of this. And that's who, like, one of the characters we were asking, like, who comes back that didn't snap away, and no Vision.
Yeah, well, Vision before the snap.
Yep.
Nobody who didn't get snapped came back, which
Yeah.
is kind of something I didn't, because, like, again, if they'd have just come walking out with everyone else, I wouldn't have questioned it. I'd have been like, oh, I guess that's how it works.
And technically, Gamora,
Gamora got to do it.
Yeah. Well, I like how they played that. It's just past Gamora.
Yeah.
Who's here now,
Yeah.
she doesn't know Quill.
Yep. And that too, like, he couldn't find her at the end.
Right.
So this Guardians 3, is it just him looking for his girl who doesn't know or give a fuck about him?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. But if, like, you bring Gamora back, you have to make a case for bringing everybody back. Because that was, if I had to pick one thing that I didn't like about the movie, and it's not even, I mean, you can't get everything. I think it's kind of the point. It's like, you can't all, you can't keep. I didn't like what happened to Nat. I think, I really just didn't. I think they're going through, and I've seen a couple jokes about it now, because they've been jokes and memes about the whole movie pretty much by now. Like, they're going through the whole plan. They're like, you go get this stone, you go get this stone, and Nat and Clint, y'all go get the soul stone. Nebula fucking knew, like, sitting there, that one of them was not going to come back from that. She didn't say anything.
True.
She should have been like, by the way.
She was raised by Thanos.
Because I just didn't, and there have been arguments that, like, her thinking that her life isn't, as worth living as Clint's, and, like, this and that. I don't know about all that. I just didn't love that, like, 20-some movies in, and she's been in most of them, and she didn't get to be a part of the whole big fight at the end. And did, even though she died.
But you know what, the reason
the wrong way. Like, that was, like, just one thing that I was like, that's kind of lame. Everybody came, like, Pepper Potts got to be a part of the fight. And
she wasn't a part of the female.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. And, like, I liked that thing. Some people have, like,
people nitpicking. Oh, it was forced. And come on.
If there had been a bunch of dudes, like, we wouldn't have even thought of that. Like,
the whole battle was a bunch of dudes.
And, like, so, but I think, like, Nat should have been, like, front and center of the whole thing. Like, she should have showed up, like
Captain Marvel, Black Widow should have been, like, leading that pack. Like, she's not alone.
Yeah. But you know what?
One of the coolest scenes of Infinity War.
Nick, I think the reasons you saying you don't like it is the reason why they put more weight to it. From a positive spin, because she is who she is, and you wouldn't expect that to happen. And she sacrifices herself because Barton, wants to be with his family. He wants to be retired. And no, we don't want to see her. I didn't want to see her die and this and that. And
the only thing in the whole movie, because you think, is they're on their way, and I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking they have to sacrifice something they love. So I'm looking in my head watching the scene like, well, what does that mean without either one of them dying? And
Yep.
then just one of them dies. And I was like, I'm mad that, not that the writers didn't do enough. Like, I'm over here complaining like they didn't make an awesome movie. But I'm like, I was hoping like they'd pull something out of left field, like,
Yeah.
bullshit. Like, it wouldn't have been hard to like convince me that like, oh, you both jumped off the cliff, so you get the stone, or some
Yeah.
Yeah, that they.
Some loophole.
Like, oh, okay, that's how it works. Cool.
I'm sitting there like I'm so locked into like what's going on in the scene that we're in. That they're in the ship. This is pretty far from Bucharest. I look over to my wife like, no, one of them's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they're going to.
Yeah, they're going to get the Soul Stone. Like it clicked in the moment. Like no, they're going to get the Soul Stone. One of them's not coming back. Then somebody also brought up, shouldn't Cap returning the stone, plugging it back in, get that soul back?
But then again, it goes to the thing that because the old Gamora is still gone.
I don't make enough money for all this, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, like, I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
I don't know any of it. It would have taken nothing to just convince me that like they snapped and brought everybody back. Like,
Yeah, Hulk said he tried.
Vision had just flying in there. I'd have been like, oh, they got Vision back. Oh,
Yeah.
look, there he is. Like, it would have taken. I wouldn't have given it a second thought. I'd been like, I guess that's just.
And
how
also,
stones
so,
work.
Randy, you mentioned that. Imagine what that conversation would have been like. Cap returning the Soul Stone. Oh, hey, Red Skull.
Yeah, that too. This movie could have pushed 4 hours with everything that they cut out.
I thought when Clint was like the floating red guy, go talk to him.
Yeah, and then it didn't click.
I was gonna but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Cap.
Thinking like 3 hours is so long, and it didn't.
Nah, it didn't feel like it.
The pacing, at least in the Avengers movies, I'm not speaking for the whole universe, but at least in the Avengers movies, the pacing is phenomenal. Whether it's Joss Whedon or the Russos, like the pacing is amazing.
Yeah, they're like the longest ones.
Yeah.
Like Civil War is like really long. Like so much happens in that movie, and I forgot.
Yeah.
I've read it a few times, and like it's so good. Like there's no part. Like everybody's talking about Endgame. Like when's a good time to go pee? And like I've heard
it's really
none.
San Francisco pops up, and I'm like, that's when Ant-Man comes back. Like,
Yeah.
you can't go pee then. They're like when Hulk is having lunch, and I'm like,
but is Hulk having lunch? You're gonna miss it.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna miss why he's the Hulk.
The
Like, you're gonna
yeah.
see the Hulk and not want to go pee.
It's like if you get up and pee at all during this movie, you're either missing great character development, some kind of heartfelt emotional moment, or bananas action.
Yeah.
There's so much like you go pee, come back, and you just like ask whoever you're with, like, what did I miss? And they're after
Everything.
so much for like a 5-minute bathroom break. They're like,
Dude, you might as well leave. You missed too much.
Like,
Now, I want to ask you this. I'm gonna say a name to both of you and tell me if you know him. LaShawn McCoy.
Oh yeah, he all over Twitter just
Nick, you know anything about this?
spoiled the moment.
I heard that, like, was he like the rest in peace, my man Tony Stark guy?
That was his second tweet. His
Yeah.
first tweet, I'm done with Marvel. They killed my boy. And then he did something that was kind of, I don't know if it was on purpose or he's just stupid, but it was trollish nonetheless. You know how you could block certain phrases on
Yeah.
Twitter. He
Yeah.
spelled Tony, Toney.
Yeah, so everybody saw it.
Yeah.
He
And
won't.
then he tweeted the second one, rest in peace to my boy Tony. Hey, you asshole.
He won't be picked on my fantasy football team this year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
And it was like what, Saturday?
It wasn't. It was when was the movie released officially? The 26th.
6th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, it was the day of or the day after.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even like said anything yet. Like I haven't been on
Yeah.
Twitter. Like
This is the first like I'm putting like any details about this movie out into the open
yeah,
for like the 12 people that are gonna watch or listen to this.
Yeah, but that's just horrible. You ruined.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the guy in China?
I don't think.
So the premiere or the first showing of Endgame in think Hong Kong, some guy came out the theater after seeing the movie, just started blurting out spoilers to the next crowd that was coming in, and basically they whooped his ass.
Good.
I heard somebody. I didn't know if it was China, but I heard somebody got like the shit.
Yeah, that's the one I heard about. They
Like, you can act like that, like, wow, that's too much. But it's like, people don't, like, we all go see movies because that's, like, our thing. Like, you know, we go see them as often as we can. People don't do that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times for people to go and shell out 10, 13, even like $20 for like a movie ticket, like that's like a big deal. It's like we're taking we are invested in this movie. So like for someone to come out and do that,
waste your money.
So shitty. Like that, like people act like it's not that serious.
Yeah, it's but look what we're talking about. You know, here in this podcast, we're talking about like Randy, how we reacted to Cap getting a millionaire and you know the emotional moments. You know, that's and then have it spoiled.
Real life that way. Like firemen could be saving babies out of a burning house, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
Like Cap catching the hammer, I'm like, yes, that's right. That's we did it.
I just wanted to bring that up about you know, don't spoil the end game, and he just did it. That's a cardinal sin. That's just come on, you.
I don't know if it was Heroic Hollywood, but I read that like I read a soldier like went AWOL to see this movie, like it was that deep, and of course he got arrested. Of course he got snatched up.
Wow.
Or like, do you think he regrets it?
Probably not, because he's probably fresh out of high school and doesn't understand how strict military life really is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When he gets dishonorably discharged over a movie, then it's gonna be like, yeah, it probably wasn't that worth. It wasn't worth it like that because now I can't get a real job.
So it's a good movie. Like that movie at this point.
Yeah.
But
2012,
seeing the first Avengers and that mid-credit scene where Thanos turns around and like
nobody knew who he was.
Right.
Like there was this kid in the theater who just started yelling Thanos, like he started yelling, like he was so happy, and like his friends were laughing and whatnot. And he got out to the lobby, and he walked out the door and just yelled Thanos, like
wow.
I was like, but it was. Then I remembered it was like we saw it at midnight, like back when that was a thing. So it was like 2 in the morning. So I was like, nobody cares. Like nobody cares.
Ironically,
like, there are people that just do that. Like
when I first saw the Avengers, somebody stood up in the middle of the theater at the end of the end tag and yelled shawarma.
It's like
I made that up.
Spoiler. Like, but there are people that just do that. Like they just get excited. They might not realize they're doing it, but like those are the people you have to look out for too.
Yeah.
Like there are trolls, and I feel like I don't know. Like
I think LaShawn McCoy was straight troll. Like, I'm a famous NFL running back. I'm going to do this. What are you going to do to me? And your shit was excitement.
Yeah, 800,000 followers, and then he does it twice.
Yeah.
And within minutes. So you come on, you know you being a. Oh, once again, if you didn't see the first tweet,
Tony Stark dies, and it's like, oh God.
We pushing toward an hour, so let me break this off real quick. All right, man, I think in closing, I think I want to just like touch on the battle or maybe like moments we missed, like that big like 35, 45 minute long battle, Cap catching the hammer, and like I think the second coolest part was you know the little voice in Cap's head on your left, then everybody comes through the Doctor Strange sling circles. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was like probably the best way to do it. I mean,
yeah.
Like it was, you know, I can't imagine them just showing up. Like, wouldn't
hey guys,
that little quiet moment before the mayhem? I thought
the mayhem, yeah.
Really. And it's the moment also when Cap, then he was getting his ass kicked, and he just like, I'm like, man, it might be Cap that's gonna get off. Then he got that in the ear.
I think. Was it maybe an hour in where we got to see 5 years later? We got to see Cap. Not Cap, Pepper, Tony, they had a kid. Tony got his happy ending with an hour into the movie. So
there you go.
Right then, I started to have a feeling like, I think I know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
I had my worries. I also then I was kind of like, well, maybe they don't want to do that now because
he can win each way.
Next generation with him now, so maybe they don't want to. What do I know? Not much. So But I thought I liked that a lot. Like I loved that, he retreated to like his cabin and was living the quiet life. I liked those scenes, like those little.
Yeah.
It just like it made it more emotional. Like it just worked, and like the thing with his daughter and John Favreau at the end, like
cheeseburger,
almost throwaway scene, but like the cheeseburger, like it just worked.
It tied back to the first movie.
Like it just was good. Like the Russo brothers are just better than most at balancing those huge moments and those tiny moments really well.
That makes me want to ask, like, what was your favorite? There were so many references to past movies. Like, what was your favorite callback, like fan service moment? Because you had the cheeseburger that goes all the way back to the first movie. You had Hail Hydra when he's trying to get the scepter. There were tons.
So I guess I'll tell you mine. Right after the Hail Hydra moment with Cap is when he runs into himself and they're fighting in the past Cap. I could do this all day.
I know. Yeah, that was great.
That had me on the floor. Yeah, I love that.
The whole 2012 sequence, just like that they made room for everybody to be at, like Robert Redford showed up.
Yeah.
And all the dudes he got in the elevator. Like even
all the original
getting in the elevator was like a throwback to the other time he got in an elevator.
Frank Grillo.
And just all of it that they made room for all that and had some fun with them on the elevator and the stairs. And I just love that they had fun and added all those characters. It was like a giant, because you could watch the movie and still enjoy that part without really knowing, but it was just the whole thing was like a giant love letter to if you watched all 22 movies,
right,
Robert Redford, here's all these guys, here's Loki turning into Cap again, and here's them going down the elevator and the Hulk has to take the stairs, and
so many stairs.
It was hilarious,
and did you all catch? There was a little line. I think it was Tony Stark, 2012. Tony Stark when Loki I think I'll take that drink, and then a little bit after that, he's okay, we could pose some more later or something like that.
No,
it was just and then Thor bringing him back to life with his hammer, and he was I had no idea that would.
Yeah,
it was just funny to see those versions one more time, I guess.
But then the ant on the wall. Ant-Man was money through that whole sequence. How did you guys not? These guys look like bad guys. How could you not tell?
Yeah.
And this is fanboying for Captain America, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
There you go.
So that whole scene, and then seeing the Ancient One, and
that was cool.
They made room for all of that in this movie. It was just like a giant thank you for watching this for 11 years. And if you haven't, you can still enjoy it. But it was still here's this, and here's this, and here's this. And they went back to 1970, which I also loved. Although I thought I could have done, I was trying to think, maybe not. I was Lawrence Fishburne could have been there. That's the only thing. But then maybe 1970s, pretty long ago. He'd have probably been.
That was one of my favorite Easter eggs, seeing the OG original Ant-Man helmet when they went all the way back to 1970.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
Dude, I have a delay on my video and it's bothering me.
Just a tad. I see it.
Yeah.
It's you're dubbed, you're a
the old kung fu movie.
I'm a 1950s Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell you one thing that I was wrong about, and the Russos have confirmed it. So, Spider-Man: Far From Home is gonna take place after Endgame.
That's what I had heard. That's what Real Cinematics would post that because some kid asks him every week when he does those Q&As, when does Spider-Man take place?
But it's nobody knows. We guess and we assume, but we don't know until we know. My own thing is okay. So everybody who got snapped came back, and it is 5 years.
I know where you're going.
When he's still in high school.
Yeah.
He and Ned are still in high school. So does that? And I'm okay, maybe they both got snapped, and maybe they both came back oh shit, Peter, and But in Far From Home, all those kids are back.
Yes.
So they all get snapped?
Yeah,
I guess
like
so. That's a
Spider
lot of
and
world.
was
That's
it Peter and
like-
his whole core group of friends: Flash, Zendaya, Ned, Martin
like the
Starr,
other kids.
all the teachers, like
Yeah.
all the primary cast of these Spider-Man movies all got decimated, but all their classmates were
they're
in
gonna
like
have
third grade
a
when the
throwaway
snap
line.
happened.
Yeah. And it's probably just going to be a throwaway line to explain it all in Far
Like,
From.
For sure.
Aunt May still hot.
Of
I'm
course.
saying it's like in 5 years. I'm not saying that
Happy
she
Hogan
looks-
needed a love
She
interest.
still looks the same. So I don't know. They're gonna maybe, and again, maybe they doctored up the trailer. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
why they do that. That seems like a bit much. Like if those kids had not been in the trailer, I don't think I would have. I'd
Yeah.
still be questioning. I'd be like, wait, so this is after Endgame?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm still excited for it. They'll explain it somehow, unless they don't.
Yeah, no, I think they would. Like, it'll be some. It has to. Well, it doesn't have to be, but I think it will just be a little throwaway line and like, oh yeah, isn't it funny that we all get,
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how what Peter say, like, hey, I passed out and I woke up and you were gone. Doctor Strange said we had to go back to help out or whatever he said.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years, so
Yeah.
like 5 years have passed since, like, presumably Peter Parker is going to come back to Earth, and like if Aunt May didn't get snapped, she's going to be like, holy shit, you've been gone for 5 years.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. They
Yeah.
have to explain it somehow, I guess.
That was another part where onions were definitely being cut, where Tony and Spider-Man got to like reconnect for that little bit.
Yeah, that was nice. And it was so short because they had like work to do.
They were
And
in
then,
the middle of the
Right.
shit.
like when he was like down there and like Captain Marvel came down, she was like, "Hey, Peter Parker." Like,
Yeah.
he looked like shit. Like he looked like he had like taken so many hits just flying around with the glove.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing I loved about the in battle was like everybody worked together. Like Clint had the glove, then Black Panther came out and had the glove.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was like, "I'll take it." Like they all just like worked, really assembled, and it was nice.
And that was let's get to the big emotional moment, because that was another callback to the original movie. 11. We've been with this one character 11 years. He puts it on. He, inspires an action figure. Oh, we talked about that off camera though. He says it. I am Iron Man. And he takes that sacrifice play that he was told in the original Avengers that he never had the character to do. It saves
Right.
everybody. Like, it sucks. Like, I wanted Tony to become the new Nick Fury, pop in this movie, pop out of that movie. But
I thought that might happen.
he goes out in the most heroic fashion anybody could have possible and just saves everybody.
Yep.
Because it builds up. Doctor Strange just put up his finger, and it
Right.
Yeah, this is the one way. This is the one way that works. But like
Yeah.
that's another loophole that I think that like it was kind of explained to me like at work but it's never explained in the movie. The way that I think Infinity War explained the gauntlet was just Thanos snapped and at random half the people disappeared. But then I guess the Hulk put on the gauntlet and you snap and it's like a mental connection. People come back or leave however you choose. So when Tony snaps, it's Thanos, the Chitauri,
Right.
the Black Order, those nasty dog things that were in Wakanda. And so it's mentally whoever you decide.
Right. Thanos, I guess he probably chose the half and half, but he just chose to make it that half.
Yeah. He said, let me keep the Avengers that will defeat me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like he didn't know.
Yeah.
But he
Like,
didn't know.
that's when I thought like, it's just what's in your heart. Like you just use your heart and you snap.
Yeah. And
But-
there you go.
At that
I was
same
like, if
time,
Matt walking out, I wouldn't have had any.
if I'm in Wakanda and I have Stormbreaker in my chest and I snap, this motherfucker that hit me in the chest is definitely gone.
Yeah, and be like, and fuck you. Like, that would have been my last. That would have been my moment. But like, that was, and I thought that like all through like when Thor, Cap, and Iron Man were fighting Thanos, I was like, Hulk snapped. And Ant-Man walked out and was like, guys, I think it worked.
Yeah.
And then like, shit hit the fan. And so I was thinking that throughout. I was like, did it work? I was like, he came back like, does this mean it didn't work? And then right when I was starting to think that was when we got the on your left. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Did he, like, did Ant-Man give that line before or after Hawkeye's phone rang?
I think it was right. It was right before.
Okay.
Then
that was like the cue up. Okay, there's a line. Cue the phone. Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, and it was like so it worked in theory, and then it was like Thanos exploded the whole building, and I was like, oh well, I guess it didn't.
And then work. That too, I think that was another like mind twisting like so essentially. Guardians of the Galaxy 2014 Thanos snaps away, which means Infinity War Thanos is gone, right? He never goes and gets the stones. So Infinity War never happens. So then I'm confusing myself, getting myself a headache trying to explain it.
Now, the way that you said it is actually the way they said it doesn't work.
Of course.
That's like the whole movie. They were like, so kill your past self. Then your future self doesn't exist, and they're like, no, stupid. Like, that's the whole movie. They're like, no, that would be dumb. It's like Nebula shot herself.
Yeah, but her future self the current self was still alive.
And I was like, oh, does that mean she's going to die? I was like, oh.
Yeah, the way they explained it, when you go back to the past, your past now is your new future or something like that they were saying. But they named all the movies that we're used to. They're like Back into the Future or Time Cop.
Yeah.
And Looper.
That was my least favorite joke. Ant-Man saying Die Hard was like my least favorite joke. Like, why would you even consider that a time travel movie?
Like,
and it's just like he just wanted to be in the conversation. Yeah. That's something you would expect him to do.
Now, he contributed Hot Tub Time Machine, which may be the most unappreciated time travel movie.
But like, all those movies, it's like it makes sense. So that's why I said nothing about it really made sense.
Yeah.
So they could have just brought back, Nat. Like, she could have come walking out of one of those circles, and I'd have been like, oh, there she is. It worked.
Yeah, like, go back to Civil War and get Civil War Black Widow, and now she's Black Widow, and she's never dead.
I wouldn't have argued with it. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But I'm like, I wouldn't have argued. I'd have been like, oh, well, great. There's Loki. Great. Like, Loki's probably still alive somewhere. Like, and like, Valkyrie came back on the horse. Like, where were Meek and Korg?
Playing Fortnite.
Like, yeah, they were playing Fortnite.
Oh, did anybody know what's happening?
I saw a pic and like tried to see it the second time.
I called him the first time. I don't know why. It's a blink if you miss it moment. I'm like, oh, because he's like right.
What's it, man? You got real staticky on my end. I didn't hear any of the question.
Oh, and I was saying, did you notice that Howard the Duck was there in the final battle?
I did not. This was like a Ready Player One battle. Like, I gotta go back and see it again because there's stuff that I clearly missed.
Yeah, I saw a picture of that, but thought maybe it was fake. I didn't see it in the. But you are confirming it was in the movie.
Yeah, if it was what I saw, it's a blink and you miss it moment. Then I'm like, wait a minute, but
that's dope.
I'm gonna see it at least one more time. So
yeah,
I'm gonna look harder for it the next time. It also kind of makes me mad. Like Howard the Duck is in it, but
so is Howard the Duck an Avenger now?
Yeah. Oh no. And I see that the Black Widow thing is really getting you down. I see Nick.
It's just something about it just rubs me the wrong way. Like everybody got to come for that big ass fight.
Yeah. But like I said, I think that's part of the reason for it is an emotional connection. She was there.
Yeah.
The time, he had
Gamora got to be there. Like, she died and got to be like, why didn't they just go back in time? Like I said, it was like real hard. It was like there's no way they could have done that. Then I'd have been like, okay, like they could have done it so easily. Like,
as many times as Loki's come back, Black Widow could have come back.
Yeah.
Go back in time and get her from the past. I'd have been like, all right, that makes sense to me. I guess. I mean that I just can't like. It would have been so easily just explained away. Like, did you ever see Thank smoking when he's like, thank God we got the whatever device. Like I always think that, like,
right, some MacGuffin.
yeah, like there's just like, thank God we can, as long as we return them. And then like maybe she could have died at the end,
Yeah.
like said bye or whatever, been like, I gotta go back or some shit. I'd have been like, well, at least you got to fight, you know, in the fight.
Yeah.
It was like Wanda came back and was like so sick. She was like, you took everything from me.
Like, I don't even know who you are.
Oh, like
Such
Thanos,
a-
like he knew he was done. Like Thanos knew he was done when Scarlet Witch got a hold of him, so he was just like, "Fuck it, kill all the soldiers, just do something to get me away from her."
Yeah.
And like, man, how satisfying was it to finally hear Cap say "Avengers Assemble"?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we.
satisfying. Except Nat wasn't there.
Yeah,
She was-
99% of Avengers assemble.
Right.
most of us, people that have never been with us before.
And like, what a dick move on Doctor Strange and Wong's part. Is that everybody? You wanted more? Black Widow, duh.
It's like,
Yeah.
kind of did. Like, Yondu could have come out. Like, they could have
Yeah.
brought everybody back. I would have said nothing. I'd have been like,
I've been saying for like the past month, Yondu should have been in these Avengers movies.
yeah. Like, just even for that. Like, they could have explained it away later and just been like, well, they gotta go.
Yeah.
So,
But you gotta have, I guess,
Yeah.
consequences and
Yeah.
have it set in stone. But
I don't know. Like, it just,
That's for everybody.
I feel like I'm nitpicking. Like, I'm asking for
But even then, going back to that, that scene on Boromir, who would everybody expect to die?
I just think like the trade-off was cool. Like neither one of them wanted the other one to go.
Right. And it was a good scene, and the Hawkeye we've come to respect him a lot now, but back in Hawkeye,
I thought he was badass in the first Avengers movie, even
he
though
was
he was
awesome, yeah.
mind
Yeah, he's
controlled.
cool and everything.
Yeah.
He's just like kind of been the most expendable Avenger.
This is
Sure.
Renner's best performance in the whole universe.
Dying. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
people dying instead of him, like Quicksilver. And
right.
Yeah.
And even in Ultron, he poked fun at himself, and he like this and that, and
I'm carrying
I got
the
a
bow and arrow.
Era.
Yeah,
Like, so
nothing
good.
makes sense.
It's like he doesn't just have a bow and arrow. Like, Bucky comes out there with a regular ass gun. And like, we don't make fun of him. Like,
Yeah.
But he
that's all he
got the super arm though.
No, all Bucky's jokes come from his relationship and closeness with Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
But it's like we're making fun of Hawkeye. It's like he has like arrows that explode and like shock people and do all this stuff. And it's like, what a dork.
He was called
Yeah.
Legolas in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like better clinch up, Legolas.
Yeah. But
God, that's going ahead past Spider-Man, even with Spider-Man, Phase 4, 5, 27, 132, however deep they want to go, dude, I'm gonna miss Tony's one-liners.
Yeah.
Either the writing or Robert Downey Jr.'s just off-the-cuff wit is gonna be sorely missed.
and something I read recently that I assume is true is that they didn't have much of a working script when they started filming the first Iron Man. Like,
Oh yeah,
outlines and stuff like that. So much of that character just is Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. doing what he would assume he would do in the situation. So much of it is just his own voice. And so that's what, every movie he was in, he added to that movie substantially. It was almost like Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. It's like you take like a normal action movie and then just put
Just born.
personality.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, Nick, one of everybody's favorite line from Endgame is Robert Downey Jr.'s.
Yep.
I love you 3000.
3000.
Yeah.
Huh?
And I forgot what they said. The screenwriters, when I was reading this article, they said they put something else.
Bunches or tons or something.
Yeah. And he just came with the I love you 3000. And
It just worked. Like it whatever he said probably would have worked the same way. Like if he just said like,
Because I think the little girl said it, and it was so cute.
right.
yeah, and like the little girl when she was like, he said shit.
Shit.
And she was like, it. She was like, he's like, I've got important shit going on. Like that was just funny. Like
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Morgan Stark
Like,
was the best.
yeah.
And here's something we haven't. It's a cameo we haven't spoken about.
Kim Jong.
Oh, yeah, that's his community. That's for the Russo's community. Wink.
Who's the chick? Yvette Nicole Brown.
Yeah.
Yep, community.
Got to. If you're not talking about Stan Lee, then I'm out of cameos.
The Russo brother himself.
Oh yeah. Like, it was cool. Like it's 2019. Like I don't get hit in the heart by like OMG a gay guy in a Marvel movie. Like it's 2019. Like
yeah,
gay people are everywhere. It's acceptable to be gay. Like nobody's gonna. I don't know. Like I just don't get overcome with any emotion because this is the norm. Like people are people. You love how you love. This dude went on a date. It's 5 years later.
Right.
I don't know. It wasn't a big thing to me, but yeah, he was in Winter Soldier. He's been in and out of a couple movies.
Popping up. And which one is he? That's my question. That's more my question than anything. Was
like which Joe or who's the other Russo brother?
Yeah, Anthony and Joe. Well, no, it's
his face looks like he could be either.
Right. Well, that was a neat little cameo, and like he said, and I think it puts that out there. It's not a big deal, but it's
and then
it's the
like
world.
They've already said that like one of the Eternals is going to be gay, and it even takes me back to Star Trek Beyond. Like John Cho was gay in Star Trek. That's cool. Like it didn't do anything for me with the plot. Like he hugged his family and they moved on. He hugged a guy.
Right.
Big deal.
Like they put it. I think they just put it in there. Like. Yeah, this is this, and like
right, yeah,
this choice, but we made this choice.
Yeah,
and then people on Twitter kind of like they were like, "This is the first openly gay person in the MCU," and then everybody's like, "Wow, way to do the bare minimum."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "You're making it a big deal, like when I don't."
Right.
But my thing is, like, I don't know if anybody else saw Captain Marvel's haircut.
I wanted to bring that up too.
That was the only gay character in the movie, and that's not even me. Like, I think that's the route that they're gonna go, and that's gonna. Which is fine with me. It makes sense in my head. I don't know.
Yeah. And there's a little.
It's going to come up later. They're going to be like, is this the gay feminist icon that we've always wanted? And it's going to be like, oh, no. Like, but eventually we're going to get to a point where we can just do it, and it's just going to be like, oh, cool. But I guess we have to do it more often for it to get to that point. So,
and you mentioned Captain Marvel with that, but there's something in that, the scene where they're all talking on the hologram.
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel and
Fuzzface.
Rhodey is there and Rocket. And it's a little moment that's shared between Rhodey and Captain Marvel. I think she said something to him, or how you doing, or it's something. I forget exactly what it was, but
they exchanged dialogue.
What's that?
They exchanged dialogue.
Yeah, and
they're like, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
but it might as well have been that because in the comics they do become a thing, and I think that was probably a wink at anybody who would know that because they looked in the way I'm like, that's
so Captain Marvel just be throwing the ass around then, don't she? Because I took the "Hey Peter Parker" as the acknowledgement that Captain Marvel and Spider-Man have a thing too. So she just be throwing the ass out there.
I looked at the.
But then again, she's jailbaiting with Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because he's not 23; he's still like 16.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe. No, the '90s boy haircut. I was convinced immediately. I was like, "Yep."
We're not digging the Captain Marvel fade.
I'm thinking that's going to be her next thing. Although, like, if the sequel to Captain Marvel is after the '90s, which it could be like a prequel to all of this, then maybe she'll still have long hair. I don't know. Maybe it went through other like phases.
And form a relationship with Gemma Chan's character because girls.
I mean, like, at some point, like, you just gotta kind of do it. Like, I don't think it should have taken them so long to make a female-centered movie. Like, It's weird that they didn't make a Black Widow movie like after Winter Soldier. Like, everybody was like,
Captain Marvel was a 21st movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, Wonder Woman had come out like 2 years ago. Like, it was like after Winter Soldier, everybody was like, Black Widow should probably get her own movie, and they were like, Yeah,
I'll
man.
tell you, like, I want that story that she told about Bucky and the Winter Soldier shooting her through the hip or whatever.
Yeah, it's and Ultron. Keep going back to Ultron. Ultron, her
Swear.
flashbacks.
That would be a
Um,
great movie too.
yeah,
Did you ever see Red Sparrow? It's like the same movie.
Exactly.
yeah, with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
that's what people thought. They were like, why didn't they just sell this to Disney and make a lot of money?
All right.
yeah, they could have cut and
I don't
pasted some names that would have been that.
But
No doubt. Is there anything? Is there any like random anything that we missed that y'all want to bring up?
All right, just one thing. That, one thing I want to ask you about. It seems to be conflict on what that noise is at the end of the credits.
It's him hammering his suit.
And I agree with that. Somebody told me it's what do you call it? Like the tolling of the bell when somebody dies. Now, supposedly they say it represents the Avengers that have passed away, and it's 6, like ding, ding when you ring the bell when somebody passes away. And yeah, Nick, I had that look on my face.
Did I miss a noise? Is it during the credits or at the very end?
It's at the very end, like when the Marvel Studios thing pops up.
Yes, ding.
Maybe I got up. Maybe I got up and walked out before those dings. So I'm still like,
Yeah.
I didn't stay during the credits the first time. I did the second time, and when they're doing the fancy signature original cast, and that was probably the last moment of a little emotion. And then yeah, like I saw the Marvel Studios logo, and then I got up. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, like you might not have even noticed it, but it is in Iron Man 1 when he's like making the suit in the cave. That is the noise.
Yeah,
now, whether they doctored it to make it 6 for that, like maybe, I think maybe not, but that might be the case. But that is clearly what the noise is, him like hammering his suit. But
Yeah,
which was cute. I would have liked a scene at the end of the credits. I mean, something. I don't know what. Something. I stayed.
Just
That's the only reason I would
a
have liked.
broom with somebody like sweeping up all the dust and cleaning up the battleground.
Yeah. Howard the Duck. Or Nat, Nat sweeping up all the dust.
I think does Phase 4, does the future, do we see the compound? Do they ever rebuild the compound? Like we're speculation, guesses, and fan theories now.
Yeah, I say yeah. You definitely got to have a headquarters.
You got to, right?
I don't know who rebuilds it, because I always kind of assumed like Tony's so rich and smart that just his people just rebuilt it.
It's clearly Professor Hulk and Giant Man.
I mean, maybe.
Putting it back together like Legos.
Like his own people. I'm like, Tony has like a whole business that like he could just bring in to build a building.
Right.
I don't know if he does, but that's always been my assumption. I'm like, oh well, between him and Shield.
But actually, we do know that Nick, because in Homecoming, when the Michael Keaton's company,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't think of what they were called.
And he got contracted out by Stark's company.
Yep.
They said they were.
And then I think when they rebuild it, we get a Tony Stark / Iron Man and maybe a Captain America Steve Rogers statue.
That would be nice.
That'd be a cool detail.
You put the Loki statue on there too.
Yes.
For no reason.
Loki as Odin.
And then people having fun with the time travel theories. In the Avengers, and I don't really. It's just a theory, and it's not true for several reasons. But it's neat if it would have been when Loki's in Germany and the old man stands up and like, there was always people like you. And somebody was saying, what if that was Steve Rogers all alone? Like, well, first of all, he's German, so
yeah.
I was like,
yeah, but yeah, that's just people just tossing Hail Marys with these theories now.
Yeah, that's a reach.
Yeah,
it was like a high school child, like whoa, and it was like, all right, you're a baby.
Yeah,
you started watching these movies like yesterday.
Before we wrap up, what does everybody give it, and where do you rank it among the whole universe? This delay is killing me.
All right, Nick.
I think I I landed on a 4.5 out of 5. I rarely give 5s. I rarely give 4.5s in my own head. But sometimes I'll just love a movie and like give it a 4.5. But like, I don't think it was flawless.
No.
And like even talking about it, like it wasn't flawless. None of them are flawless.
An hour and a half discussion. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I feel like I brought up like more like nitpicks and complaints than actual like love. But I really loved it.
No, it's so good. And like I don't go see movies more than once if I don't love the movie. Like even like I didn't even see like Shazam more than once, which I thought Shazam was great. I was just like, I'll just wait. Like I'm already planning to go see this a third time. I go see Star Wars more than once. So like I loved it. It was satisfying in way more ways than it was not.
Yes.
I did not love the gnat thing. I
You didn't? What?
Really? Like touch more on that, please.
The more I thought about it after the first time I saw it, I was like, I didn't love it. Just like Tony's loss felt so worth it. Like it was like, wow, he went out that way and like did that. Like he won the whole thing, and like Cap got his moment. He got his dance.
Yeah.
Like Matt jumped off the cliff. I was like, why? Like I don't know. Like, and it made sense and it worked. And I probably had the same feeling when Gamora got thrown off the cliff, but there was that sense in Infinity War that maybe they're gonna fix it. So I was like, all the emotion. It was like, well, maybe I just gotta wait a year. So right now, and it might change. Right now, I think I have it at number 2, behind Infinity War
I'm
in
mad
my
at that.
ranking. It might change. For the longest time, Avengers 1 was my number 1 and like never changed until Infinity War. Right now, I might have it at number 2. I might need to watch it 4 times, but I think that's where I rank it.
All right.
Excellent. All right, and I think Nick and I use the same rating scale, just I guess 0 out of 5 or whatnot. And I would have to agree. I was flirting with 5, but I think 4.5. I think is good.
I'm a little sluttier with my rankings, my ratings.
But as far as the order, and this is the order of Avengers movies, right?
The overall MCU. If you got it 22nd, like that's fine. It's your shit.
I get you. Now, where Endgame is ranked, I have it in my top 5 at number 4. And my number 1 movie, MCU movie, is the original Avengers, 2012.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
So yeah, that's about it. 4.5, of course, not flawless, but it's great. And watching both of these movies back to back is gonna be even more awesome. And
it's like for anybody that didn't at least rewatch Infinity War, it's just like why? Like, it's such a great double feature. Yeah, like I gave it the 5.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
Everybody has it on Blu-ray or whatever.
Yep. It's coming out in that box set.
22 movies. Universal and Sony just turned a blind eye to.
Right.
Like, it's my favorite movie all year. It's my favorite MCU movie. And it's not even like, as far as like impact and scale and all that, I think Infinity War might be better. But as far as like payoff and conclusion and satisfaction, dude, I can't get enough of Endgame. Like, it's phenomenal. And it's like the Russo brothers have my top 4 favorite MCU movies. And then even thinking like beyond the rest of this year, I think Toy Story, Star Wars, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are like the only movies that have a chance to top Endgame for me. And I think the only realistic ones are Toy Story and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm a Star Wars fan girl. Like, I'm like, Star Wars.
You don't say.
Might just take it, like, for real. Toy Story has a shot. I don't know for sure. I would say, like, because, like, Toy Story 3 and all those, I think, were my favorite movie their respective years. And so I'm like, I might actually cry watching Toy Story. So, Toy Story has a shot. I mean, anything has a shot. Like, Lion King might be the best thing we've all ever seen. And
Angry Birds 2.
That's the same. Angry Birds 2, like, might be the Empire Strikes Back of video.
For sure.
Detective
one.
Pikachu is next week. So, like, there's all these masterpieces coming our way.
Now, it's one neither one of you mentioned, and I think this is going to be a sleeper. It's also a sequel. It's also the end of the story thread of these. It's going to be a trilogy, and John Wick 3.
John Wick.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not coming to an IMAX. I would have shelled out IMAX money for John Wick 3.
Dude, now that Avengers is actually out, like I'm pretty excited for John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and I think Aladdin are probably my two next biggest ones in May. Like Godzilla's in the combo somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've definitely got movies. Got stuff to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
More.
I mean, due to runtime and an hour and a half conversation, I'm sure like we talked a lot about this movie, and I'm sure there's still tons we missed. I think that's gonna wrap it. I think like a couple months ago, before I went through all my medical stuff, we talked about like bad movie experiences. Maybe next episode, it just depends on the news and what all happens. I'll bring you guys back in, try to get Joe on, tell him to quit his job so he can exclusively be available for Rec League Pod.
AWOL to go see this movie.
Right? A soldier literally went AWOL for Endgame. He could have. I'm not going into work. I have a podcast to do. But yeah, like that'll put a cap on it. And like I said, I'll bring you guys back soon, man. All right, man. That was that was my guy Eric Sigmund. That was my guy Nick Goodman. Hopefully y'all dug that. Had to bring old man Lawrence in because for the first time in 2019, this dude saw a movie opening weekend, Avengers Endgame. First, I had some random questions I asked the other dudes. Did you get up? Did you get up to use the restroom?
Negative.
What?
I almost got up popcorn though because it was a long ass movie. The kid was hungry.
How many times did you cry with your soft ass?
Cried 0.
0. I'm a grown man.
How many times was I in my emotions? That could be a question.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Maybe twice.
So you like, I think you, Jason, and maybe like one or two other people were like didn't go bananas, like didn't love it like I did. Did you get how many? You only saw it once, right? That was my last question.
I was hoping to see it again today, but I didn't have time.
Okay.
End of the semester and shit. I got finals, homework, yada yada yada.
You got responsibility. We grown men in our 30s, man. Rec League, baby. You want to get your complaints out the way?
I mean, as far as like
nitpicks,
like they're minor. You know what I mean? Like let me cut this volume down. That's probably killing it.
I mean, you sound cool on this end. Well, we got all this dead space, man. Y'all know old man Lawrence, man. He probably been featured on the most episodes since I started the pod. That's my guy though.
But as far as like complaints, like my biggest complaint is probably just like I get it. Like we're all invested 22 films or whatever, 11 years, 12 years, 10 years, whatever. I don't know, whatever.
11.
Like we're all invested in this shit. Like we're all in it together. But I can't ignore the fact that there's like some loopholes, plot holes in this story. Like there's just too many times I watched it with my brother, and there was like 4 or 5 times where I'm sitting there, something would happen. I would literally look over at my brother like, "What the fuck? What?" Like there was like 4 or 5 moments in this movie. I'm like, "What?"
Bruh. You got to go into detail, man. The audio only can't see your facial expression. For the audio only audience.
Okay, the whole time travel thing, like, I get it, man. It's a comic book movie, like, the Marvel Universe is the time travel. I get it. I've read comic books for a long time, like, but the way this movie did it, like, it makes 0 sense. And they even had, like, kind of like a joke where they were like, it's not like Back to the Future, where, like, if you go back and change something in the past, it changes the future. I get it. There's the ancient one. They explained all that with Professor Hulk, where he was like, "Oh, as long as you put the time stone back to where it was, exactly where it was when you got it, when you took it away, like everything will be fine."
That's literally like every time I come up with, well, this happened, so this, I just be like, well, they put the stone back, so it's whatever.
That's the thing. Like you're giving them a pass. Like you're really giving them a pass.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite franchise.
Yeah, it makes it because we're all so invested
Yeah.
in it. We all wanted to love it.
Marvel Studios has not let me down since November of 2013.
What is that?
Thor: The Dark World, which was such an important movie.
It wasn't that bad.
It's not that bad, but it has the weakest villain. So
I don't think it's that weak though.
Malekith is the second weakest villain because also in 2013, the Mandarin, who wasn't the Mandarin, who was Guy Pearce with a boner for Pepper Potts, was not the Mandarin. And now, because the end of this movie,
I also put Ego up there too, which is ironic because it's it's probably my second favorite.
You think Ego is one of the weakest villains?
Yeah, I think it's super weak.
Fuck no.
It's one of the best movies in the MCU. Like it's my top 3 MCU movie, but he was one of the weaker villains.
But as soon as he said he put the cancer in Quill's mom, I was like, no, like this dude, what a son of a bitch. And this was before. This was before all of my shit went down. You know what I'm saying? Guardians 2 was like 2 years old already. So I was like,
okay, that's fair.
I was like,
but no, like Ego, like honestly, like he was a scumbag, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Villain wise, like he was just like.
I mean, in the movie,
that's one of my top 3 favorite MCU movies. So.
In the movie, yeah, like he's not that villainous. He's like cool father figure. Like we got a bond.
He's fucking Kurt Russell, bro.
Yeah, like he's iconic actor. Yeah, like, and that's the draw. Like that's what everybody wanted as soon as Guardians 1 came out. Who could play Quill's dad? Well, he kind of played Star-Lord like Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China. So let's get Kurt Russell, and they did, and it was dope. But
yeah, so back to Endgame.
That's what we do in Rec League. We get sidetracked.
Oh yeah, you got it. Especially with MCU. Like I said, we're 22 fucking films deep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, the whole time travel thing threw me off. There's a couple things that I didn't like. I didn't know how they just kind of threw Professor Hulk in our face. Like,
yes, I said that earlier. Like,
I have no problem with Professor Hulk. Like, I don't.
But
like, it's cool. Like I dig it, but they kind of were just like, okay, while you were gone, like this happened. Like,
yeah.
Wait a minute, we weren't gone anywhere. Like we've been here the entire time. Don't look like just throw us in our face now.
As important of a storyline as Hulk not hulking out in Infinity War, I wanted a scene to show the compromise between Banner and Hulk, instead of just dialogue. And then, hey kids, want a selfie?
Yeah, the whole cafeteria scene, like the whole theater was laughing or whatever. They were giggling, but
yeah,
that was one of those moments where I was just like, looking at my brother, I'm like, how did we end up here?
In a 3-hour movie, we couldn't get another 5 minutes of Hulk and Banner chopping it up.
Yeah. That's like I said. All my complaints about this movie are, they're small. Like I'm
nitpicks.
I have no big problems with this movie. I have a problem with the whole, this kind of goes hand in hand with the time travel thing, but like Nebula shooting her. She fucking dies and she's okay.
Yeah.
And like I get it, they explained it. Like, okay, they explained it, but Gamora is present. I don't know, man. I have if Gamora being back makes everything else as far as like depth wise,
the impact.
Cheap. It just makes it seem cheap. Okay, Gamora is back. Like, oh yeah, Gamora's back. We lost Tony Stark. Oh, we lost Iron Man. Oh.
We lost Black Widow.
Bring back Gamora. Like we can bring back all these
anybody.
It just cheapened it. It just cheapened it for me.
I mean, Star-Lord didn't really find her at the end. So I mean, what if she's not in Guardians 3?
Bro, she's in Guardians.
She's in Guardians 3, of course.
She's a money maker.
Like, that's what I assume that Guardians 3 is gonna be now, is Thor and the Guardians hanging out, just searching for Gamora.
As Guardians of the Galaxy. That was a clever line. I was like, okay.
And then Adam Warlock is like the headache that they have to deal with, hopefully, because they set up Adam Warlock.
That's what most people think. Yeah.
They set up Adam Warlock. They better use him.
Yeah. Yeah, and another complaint that I have is the whole Captain America thing. I don't know what the other guest said because we're kind of shooting this from the hip or whatever, but that kind of rubbed me the wrong. That doesn't make sense.
Him coming back old.
The Steve Rogers going back, living out his life with Peggy.
Yeah, he set up an
can't-
alternate reality. He got his dance. He got his happy ending.
But he came back into the present timeline. I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube trying to explain it or whatever, but it just seems lazy to me. I think the Russo brothers like, okay, Chris Evans, like you're going out, we know you're done. Like, how do you want to end your character? Chris is like, I want it to be like this because I feel like this will give the fans what they really want, without really thinking about it, because it doesn't really make any sense at all.
He's been trying to get that dance since
let's
2011.
say he goes back in time. No matter what point in time he goes back in, there is another Captain America there. Oh, then you say, well, Captain America was in the ice. Okay, I'll give you that. Granted. So now he goes back in time. Captain America's in the ice. He just shows up at Peggy's doorstep like, hey, baby, I'm home. You know what I mean? Like, there's something. He has to explain it somehow. Like, oh, this is going to sound crazy. I know it is. But I'm from the future, but I'm not from the future. And there's a me still frozen in the ice, but it's really me standing here in front of you now. We're the same guy. Like, what?
Yeah, like
dude, no way. Dude, you can't have a girlfriend and go out with your friends and not tell your girlfriend where you're going for one night. And that relationship still be cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way this man like just shows up like, baby, I'm home. Like, no, that is the worst relationship ever, because he's going to not live that down for the rest of his life. So I don't know, that was kind of lazy and kind of cheap to me.
Since he plugged in all the stones back and reset all of that, he didn't really he didn't create an alternate reality, did he? He just lived out in regular 1945 or whatever. You're right.
Yeah, so no matter what point in time he goes back, there's still a Captain America there. So he either killed him and like hid the body and just like, I'm just like going to slide in and take his place on some serial killer shit, or he was like, hey baby, I'm back. Let me explain.
Yeah,
like, that's not gonna work.
I mean, after seeing Red Skull and all that after the first Avenger, I mean, I don't know.
But think about it. But take all that and put it aside. But like, you're just gonna go back in time to Peggy herself. Like she knows nothing else about nothing that's going on
in the future, right?
And you're just gonna say like, "Hey, girl, I missed you." Like,
she probably fainted. Shit, I don't know.
But I'm back. This shit ain't gonna work, man. You're married. You got a woman. Hell no. You can't go to the bathroom that long without somebody knocking on the door. Like, what are you doing in there? What's taking you so long?
That's factual. Nah. That is a very accurate statement.
But like I said, like I love this movie, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to discredit this movie at all. Like, I loved it. I had a good time. I laughed. I was like on the edge of my seat. When Captain America picked up the hammer, I was like, oh.
That was my favorite part.
There was like, I had like so many scenes where I was like geeking out, nerding out, or whatever. Like, loved it. Dialogue back and forth, loved it.
I'm telling you, like,
there's like certain things I can't overlook, and I feel a little bit let down.
I gave so many Kobe fist pumps, like I was geeking out all 3 hours. Fuck yeah!
You get the Tiger Woods, like.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was really cool how they did the. Actually, when they first did the 5 years later, I was like, yo, that sucks. Like, don't jump ahead 5 years. Like, I feel like I'm.
That's something.
When they first hit that, I was like.
As far as like fan speculation, really? Like months in advance, I had heard that there was a possibility of a time jump like months in advance.
Yeah, so, like, we all kind of were thinking that. Yeah.
I expected it. There was a lot I expected, like minor shit, like Captain Marvel saving Tony and Nebula, the time jump, time travel. Like, it's all stuff I expected.
Yeah, but when it actually came across the screen like 5 years later, like, they've never done this before. Like,
yeah,
really, just because it's convenient right now, you're gonna just say 5 years later. But it was kind of cool as far as the movie goes. It was kind of cool. Like, you saw.
You just got to show the effect of Snap hat on everything.
Yeah, they just showed like America for the most part. Like, it showed all the like Statue of Liberty, like all the ships and kind of like a makeshift
abandoned cars and parking lots and everything.
Yeah. So like that was kind of cool, and I wish that was one of the dopest parts of the movie. I wish they would have touched on it a little bit more. I think that could be like a spin-off movie, like all by itself. That would be so dope.
I just got an idea for what Stan Lee's cameo should have been. When everybody comes back, he could have just been like in the Mets stadium parking lot, like, "Hey, my car's still here."
Was that real Stan Lee though?
Yeah, that's his last cameo. I heard he's in Spider-Man, but over the past couple weeks, it's come out that he might not be. So that, like, driving past that base in 1970 is probably his last cameo in a movie, unless he's in Dark Phoenix, which I doubt.
I think they'll incorporate him in everything, though.
That'd be shit. They doing it with Star Wars actors.
Even if, well, yeah, so if they go the CGI route, or if it's just, even if it's just like a little like we'll pan over here, and like his name will be like random,
like a picture they do in the Netflix shows. Like, that'd be cool.
I think they should, honestly. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the whole 5 years skip ahead or whatever rubbed me the wrong way at first, but once I actually saw it, I was like, this is kind of dope, and like I wish we would have got a little bit more of that. Because yeah, I thought that was like super interesting. And I thought it was like super accurate too, because literally half, like we're just talking about our planet, like here Earth, like literally half of everybody was gone. Like you got to think, like if that shit really happened, like it is years before there's any kind of normalcy going back.
Yeah, that's why, like, at the meeting where the dude was talking about like meeting his boyfriend for dinner and they were just crying. Like, that's accurate.
Yeah, like that's like it would be a long ass time before life just got back to normal. Like there's no way. There's no way.
And like you said,
nobody woke up, went to work.
Yeah.
Like it was weeks. You got I don't care what's going on. It is weeks, if not months, before anybody's even thinking about work. Like what's work? Like everybody's gone.
Exactly.
Nobody's going. You trying to tell me they're gonna have that one guy at work and like show up the next day and like, I'm still here.
Where you been, Steve?
No, like life as you know, like got crazy after that. And I wish they kind of went into that a little bit deeper. But now I'm just like I'm getting like super sidetracked or whatever.
Yeah, like you said, they focused on Earth, but like Captain Marvel pointed out, like, hey, like all these other planets are going through the same stuff.
Yeah, that was super dope.
That's one thing, like, watching it the first time, like, I thought, like, Captain Marvel was, like, severely underused. But then during that final battle when she just, like, bolted through Thanos' whole shit, like, oh, yeah, like, they're showing her way too powerful to have been in this whole movie.
Yeah. I thought about it, too. Like, I was like, why is she really not in this movie? But then, like, yeah, like you said, she shows up and it's like, oh, yeah, that's why. Because it'd be, like, super easy.
'Cause she's a beast.
Yeah, and, like, this whole movie, in a nutshell, it just seemed like fan service. Like, they're just saying, like, we appreciate you guys for riding with us.
We're here today because of you guys.
We know what you guys like, and we're going to give you that times 10. And we just wanted to wrap this all up and say thank you, which I was kind of, like, put off by. But at the same time, like, it worked.
Yeah.
It kind of worked. Another pet peeve of mine, though, is Fat Thor. Like, that was stupid. It was so stupid. That was stupid. Like, can we all be honest? That was dumb. Like, we all laughed. We all like, haha, good time. Like, always.
I'm not gonna call it dumb. Like, I think it was like the symbolism of like Thor, like taking everything, the snap, the hardest.
Absolutely.
Survivor's guilt or whatever you want to call it. And he just ate and drank his feelings.
But by the time we got back to Asgard, though, you're like, okay, this is old.
Like, it is all played for laughs.
Yeah, it's all for laughs, and it felt kind of cheap to me. Like Thor was the most underrated person throughout all the movies, and then we get Ragnarok, and we're like, oh, finally, Thor's getting some respect. It's because, and then they're just like, they just undercut him again.
It's because they did the vacation, like nobody. He did that vacation movie. He did Ghostbusters. Like, he started showing off his comedic chops, and that's what Ragnarok, even Infinity War, just let Hemsworth be funny.
Yeah, to an extent, but I don't know. I felt like after the Fat Thor, like after that first introduction, it's like, ha ha ha, like that's kind of ridiculous. But then you're like, that's another one of those moments. I'm like, are they, like, really?
It set up that Lebowski line, which was one of the funniest lines in the whole movie to me.
But they went. I just think they went overboard. Like I said, all my nitpicks are small nitpicks, but I feel like they went a little bit overboard. They kind of reverted back to like Thor being like, hey, he's Thor.
I get it.
Kind of thunder. But I'm saying all of this, but I really did enjoy the movie. Like, it was really good. A lot of things that I liked. It just felt like, man, like a salute. Like, it's all it was. Like, it's like a tip of the cap.
Yeah.
I felt a look like I don't think this is better than Infinity War. I don't.
Dude, cause of like all the nods, like I love the fan service. I told like I got graphic with mine. Like I loved it. I got mine watching this movie, and like I'll tell like Cap catching the hammer, the whole battle at the end with everybody in it. Tony going out how Tony went out. Like there's so much I loved that just outweighs like my minor nitpicks. Like my nitpick is I wanted him to fight Thanos that snapped everybody away, not hypothetically or whatever, not the Thanos that lived in Guardians of the Galaxy time.
Bro, speaking of that, like when Thor like sliced his head off, like the whole theater was just like,
yeah. So like what? Where's this movie go now? Thanos is dead.
I was like, I thought this was a 3-hour long movie. Like, this is about to wrap up in 30 minutes.
Right?
Like
that's why I told him dudes earlier, yo, like, Thanos was really out there farming.
Yeah, he was.
He had fruits.
Like, living and shit, like, he was hurt.
One of my, yeah, because he had to destroy the stones and all that. Yeah, he was fucked up. And one of my dudes earlier said he was dressed like Shrek.
Nailed it.
Right?
But no, like I just feel like this movie, like as far as the story writing goes, I just can't help but feel like it was sort of lazy. Like this is just me. Like I really wish the story would have been Thanos didn't destroy the stone.
Yeah.
If they go back, they get the gauntlet, and they dipset. Like they have a little battle with Thanos, they get the gauntlet, and they leave like real quick. And so in the meantime, like Thanos is like gathering his people, his army, his peers, whatever, his gang. Like they're about to roll up on him. Like they're putting together their plan. So we're getting ready for this battle. And meanwhile, the heroes are like, okay, after we undo the snap, like we have to destroy these stones. Like how are we going to destroy these stones? They're like, oh well, we can just do like we'll just use the power of themselves to destroy themselves. But stretch it out a little bit. Like okay, we're gonna use the stones to destroy the stones, but meanwhile, Thanos is like coming.
Yeah.
So they could have undid the snap immediately. Like we got the guy. Let's get back to Earth. Boom, we're back to Earth. Undid the snap. All of our characters are back. Now we have our full army, all of our heroes, and Thanos has his full army. Like we're going to battle now. Like I wish that's what the movie would have been, because I just felt like we got like the last 10 minutes of like all of our heroes. Like the Black Panther is like my hands down, like probably my favorite character from MCU. And like all I saw was like 10 minutes of him. Like, nah, man, that's cheap. Man.
Yeah.
I felt cheapened.
I guess.
But you could argue, well, Black Panther was only like 3 movies ago. Like, yeah, you're kind of right.
That battle was a good 35 minutes.
But still. Oh yeah, I'll give you that. I said 10 minutes. I said
yeah, like
right.
this was a swan song for the original squad. Like,
and so yeah, exactly. It's all it was.
All the new heroes.
It was more about the actors than
yeah.
it was the characters. That's just me.
All the new heroes, like I don't know, like the second wave Avengers, like they're gonna get shine in the next few years. We're all gonna still have time to love them. Yeah.
I feel like it was more about the actors than it was about the characters, and that's just me. That's my biggest. That's we all step back at the end of the day. Like my final whatever. I don't know. I just felt like it was more about the actors than it was about the characters, like personally. But with all that, like I said, like I know I'm talking in circles here. Like I like this movie. Like I had a good time. I enjoyed it. I was really happy with it.
I feel you. I mean, I think Thor, Hulk, and even maybe Hawkeye could pop up in future movies. But yeah, it was like a sign off for the 10 plus years a few other actors have put in.
I would be surprised if Robert Downey Jr. popped back up. Tony Stark. He might do like a full feature length movie, but you trying to tell me if they hit him up like, hey, you trying to tell me if they hit him up like, hey, we need you for like 5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
He would say no.
Hey Downey, we got $5 million for a cameo.
Or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, I'll do it for sure.
Sherlock Holmes 3? Wait another year. I gotta go do a 10-minute Marvel scene.
Because in the comic books, like he does die, but he comes back as artificial intelligence.
Really?
So he could be like the next Friday, the next
Tony comes back as the next Jarvis.
Yeah, the next Jarvis. Like
that would be dope. I don't give a fuck if he ends up like voicing Spider-Man suit, War Machine suit. I'd be with it.
So I feel like they kind of did a good job of setting up a current timeline for the most part where they are with the comics, because I'm pretty sure, like, I think in the comic books, like, Tony Stark is back right now. But for a period of time there, like, he was like artificial intelligence, like he was, I think it was the Secret Wars, where damn, so I hope we have like hardcore comic book fans as listeners of the podcast. But I think it was like Secret Wars, where, like, Tony Stark's demise kind of turned him into AI.
I said at the top of the show, spoiler heavy.
But yeah, I think in the comic book world, Tony Stark is back. We still have Ironheart, who was the young teenage girl taking out the mantle. So I think they kind of did a good job of setting it up to where it would be close to where they are with the comic books like today, which is dope. I guess it works. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's my thing too. Like when Phase 4 is gonna start, like everybody's talking about, there's not gonna be any Marvel movies for a year. But first, Spider-Man comes out in like 6 weeks, 7 weeks for one, and that's officially the end of Phase 3. It comes out July 2nd, and then at Comic-Con 10 days after that, Kevin Feige, somebody at Marvel Studios is gonna come out. Hey guys, next May, such and such movie comes out the first weekend in May, so be ready. Like Phase 4 starts next year, and how they're gonna either like close the gap where like Spider-Man is gonna take place in like 5 years, and that's gonna be weird. Like, are all these, if he's like 16, 17, still all the kids around him that didn't get snapped away that are 16, 17 were like 12 when all this happened.
Don't make sense.
Yeah, like I don't know. I hope they explain it, and I hope they just brush over it fast enough that I don't care, because I've been waiting on Mysterio to be in a movie since the first Spider-Man movie in 2002 that we seen at Cherry Tree, and it's still dope. It still holds up. And
the first big Spider-Man was the first two, I should say.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. I cut off a rant real quick. You got any last minute thoughts before we move on to sports?
Nah, man. Like I said, like, it was a really dope movie. I enjoyed myself a lot. I want to see it again. I think it'll be like rewatchable.
Yeah.
I think it'll always be there. Like it'll always have the rewatchable factor. But I gotta be honest. Like, there's a few things that I just didn't like, and if we could step back from what it is, like we're all so deeply invested in it. Like, I think we could all agree that, like, there's some problems with this movie. Like, there's some problems, but I liked it. So had a good time.
There's so many people out there that say you liked it, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know. I like I said, I know I'm talking in circles, but I gotta be honest.
Yeah, but everything has pros and cons, man. It's just life. But we gonna come back. We gonna talk some NBA playoffs. Something happened in football a couple weeks ago, and there was some kind of like fisticuffs the other day. We be back. All right, man. We moving on to this sports right quick. I got a few different topics that I want to touch on. Not really go too heavy in depth on. Just real quick, like NBA playoffs, first round's over. Every home team won. Like, this is the first time in recent memory that I can remember that every team that had home court advantage advanced. Our Pacers got swept, teardrop. The Pistons got swept. I was hoping the Spurs could pull off the Game 7 upset. They did not. Damian Lillard has the shot of the playoffs, the series-clinching bad shot, according to Paul George, that knocked the Thunder out. The Blazers, in my opinion, have been the most fun team to watch during the playoffs. And then maybe the Bucks.
I think that whole series has been the funnest series so far.
Portland OKC?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had that 4 overtime last night, though. I mean, a couple nights ago, though.
I was gonna say, like, some people, you can probably make the argument now for the Houston Golden State series that we got going on. But
Yeah. I think, well, now today, Toronto tied up with Philly. Denver tied up with.
Yeah, Kawhi dropped 39.
Kawhi's been a monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Giving
Yeah, hell of a game.
giving the Clippers a preview of what they got coming.
With the Lakers, honestly.
You think he gonna swerve and go to LA play with LeBron?
I think so.
Man,
I think they did. I think they're damn near make them the 1 seed, like right off
It
the bat.
would. You got you watch Game of Thrones on HBO app, man. Have you checked out the shop?
Nah, nope.
Bro, I love the shop. Like LeBron just like invites a bunch of celebrities to come kick it at a barbershop and they just chop it up on current events.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say I read about it all the time on Twitter or whatever. So I've basically seen all the episodes without like really seeing them. Like I got the breakdown of them.
Yeah, and the playoffs do feel a little weird without LeBron.
They feel stupid weird. Like, are you serious? Like, it's kind of fun. Like, okay, yeah, it's kind of fun. Like, there's no LeBron. Like, we know, like LeBron's gonna be in the finals, but
yeah.
But we know, like, LeBron's going back to the finals. But like, there is that mysterious factor. Like, it could be anybody this year coming out of the East. But
yeah, the East is up for grabs, and if Houston can't pull off this upset over Golden State, like they've got the West on lock.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, all power to Portland and Denver, man, but they're not beating Golden State 4 out of 7 times.
I'm pulling for Portland.
I am too. I really like the Blazers.
I like the Blazers a lot too. They had some bad injuries or whatever, some tough breaks, like they always do. That's like the entire history of the Blazers is like bad luck.
Greg Oden, Brandon Roy, recent
Brandon
injury.
Roy, God, Brandon Roy was
such a hooper. Before Dame started knocking teams out, before Dame started knocking teams out with a buzzer beater to win the series, Brandon Roy was doing that.
Brandon Roy was like Kobe without like the explosive athleticism, like dunking on everybody.
Brandon Roy was so nice.
God, he was cold blooded, man.
I remember like 10 years ago, man, chilling with Andrew, and like you know how like we would kick it at his crib after school and all it is. But this was after I got out of the military, and we was chilling. We was watching Portland, Houston in the playoffs, and Brandon Roy come around that corner just like Dame did against Houston, 3 years ago. What? Buzzer beater 3 to end the series. Like, we got so hyped, but we had to be quiet because his family was asleep. Like, bro, it was so dope.
I know the game you're talking about too, yeah.
It was so dope, man. Like, if Brandon Roy and Greg Oden don't get hurt, like, the Blazers don't get Dame, so, I mean, what you gonna do, man? It's just the way the cards played out.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, man, like, I know Murray went number 1, shifting to NFL draft, man. I didn't really pay that much attention. Murray went to the Cardinals. Rosen got traded to the Dolphins. And then I just hope the Colts pick some killers.
Yeah, I didn't really pay too much attention to the NFL draft either. For one, because it like takes forever.
Yeah, it's like 4 days long.
2, because like outside like top 10 picks, like a lot of these guys, like the mainstream has no idea about. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I watch college football. I enjoy college football. I watch the NFL. I enjoy the NFL, but you get in these later rounds. Like, I have no idea who these guys are. So I'm just like at the mercy of like Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
Like whatever you tell me, like I'm gonna eat that shit up. But like I have no interest in like following the NFL draft. It's nothing like the NBA draft. It's nothing like the NBA draft. But yeah, NFL draft. Like I said, he went. Murray went number 1 or whatever. But outside of that, like.
Bosa went to the Niners.
Yeah.
If he's anything like his brother, he'll be a killer.
Yeah.
So, it's your time to shine, man. Talk about that fight.
Yeah, so last night we had, actually there's a couple cards on last night. ESPN had their card. Better Beef, retaining his belt. Still remaining undefeated. I think he got a fifth round or 6th round TKO. But the fight that everybody was watching last night was and me too, the fight that I watched was Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Danny the Miracle Man Jacobs for a unification fight or whatever. The belts were on the line. And it was a really good fight, man. Like, a lot of people say, like, Canelo, I think he had 116, 112 on one card, and then the other 2 judges' scorecards were 115, 113. And I'll be frank and I'll be honest. When I heard that 116, 112, I was like, what? What the fuck fight were you watching? Because Me personally, like I thought it was a super close fight. I thought it was a really close fight. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. Like I think we can all agree. Like we thought it was going to be explosive, but it really wasn't quite explosive. It was more technical, and it was more of a skill set back and forth, like countering. Like I'm going to see what you got. I'm going to do my thing. Whatever you do, I'm going to have a counter for it. Like I'm going to bring my game plan. You're going to bring your game plan. It wasn't a whole lot of action, but at the same time, like real boxing fans, like that's the stuff that we like. We like to see the science. We like to see the footwork. We like to see the defense. We like to see the ring generalship. We like to see who's backing their man up against the ropes, like who's getting off the ropes, like who's backing up, who's countering, like who's being offensive. Like we like to see that stuff. But as far as excitement and the quote Triple G big drama show, it was not a big drama show. Like it was a good fight. I actually thought it was a lot closer going into the late rounds. Like I thought it was going to be a draw. Like round 9 or 10, I was like, this is going to end in a draw. I think this is going to be a close fight. But as the fight went on, I thought Canelo won it. I thought it was 7-5 for Canelo, which you take that and it's one round away from being a draw. So I thought it was a really close fight because if you say I say 7-5 for Canelo, you take that back one round, it's 6-6, that's a draw.
Yeah.
I thought there were a couple swing rounds in there. I thought there was 2 or 3 rounds that really could have gone either way. So I thought Daniel Jacobs did his thing, man. I thought he had an excellent fight. Canelo did his thing too. Like he's masterful inside, and he's masterful with. He's actually, man, his defense has got. If you could watch Canelo progress through the years, like his defense is like I'm not gonna compare him to Floyd Mayweather because that would be blasphemous. I don't think we'll ever see the likes of a Floyd Mayweather again in terms of defense and the way he counters people. But dude, Canelo's masterful. His fight game is masterful, and he put on a show last night. But he kind of, I don't know, it wasn't like a great show. It wasn't like a spectacular show. And I'm probably losing a lot of people with this, but
like 10 people watched this.
Like I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was. It was a damn good fight. It was a damn good fight. It wasn't a lot of drama. It wasn't a lot of offense explosion. Like you're not going to see like if you watch the highlights of it, you're like, oh, that seems like a boring fight.
Yeah.
But us boxing fans, like, it was a good fight. Like we enjoyed it. I thought it was really close. If it would have ended in a draw, I don't know about that. And a lot of people think Canelo always gets the benefit of the doubt in Las Vegas. I'm not going to go down that lane. I'm not going to go down the. I hate the conspiracy theorists in boxing. Like, I hate to do that. I don't want to do that. The truth is, though, Canelo is the man. If he's not pound for pound number 1, I don't know, man. Like, I think Terrence Crawford is the best boxer in the game right now. I think Vasily Lomachenko is, I think he's probably the second most talented. And I think Canelo is like the third. But honestly, I think Canelo deserves to be number 1 pound for pound. Like, there's nothing like, what else can he do? Like, no matter who you put in front of him, he beats.
Yeah.
He only has 1 loss, and that's as we all know, his only loss is the Floyd Mayweather when he was young, and Floyd Mayweather was in his prime. Like we can't knock him for losing to Floyd.
Yeah.
Like we can't. He's beating everybody else you put in front of him. Like he's legit beating them. Well, I don't say legit because people can debate or whatever. Like he's he's beating everybody, man. Like he's just. I don't know what else he can do to get the pound for pound number 1. Honestly, I don't. But it was a really good fight on the zone. Undercard was pretty good. Yeah, it was just a good Saturday night for boxing, man. And we also, speaking of the zone, they got this shit on lock because there's like a good fight for like the next 6 weeks, man. 6 weeks. We got a good fight, an interesting fight on the zone.
I mean, come back and give your thoughts on those too if you want, bro. That's what's up. We gonna come back. We gonna talk we finally got some hip hop to talk about, man. Like I told you on the last episode, like I kind of regret putting hip hop on the pod because there's like rarely hip hop relevance that I feel like discussing. but some new music has been released, and we will talk about that when I come back. Yo, yo. Andale, the homie got a lot to say. Got a death, walked up on me. I said, bitch, not today. Game of life, no choice. Yo ass got to play. Ain't no ladies around to lay up on your crotch today. Randy is the nicest, whether I type this or I write shit. Grown ass, pay my bills, bi-weekly check with a wife shit. Blindsided, threatened was my life quick, but I survived it. Chemo in the catheter, pinched it off. I cannot say I liked it. I'm just a white kid that rhymes shit. As much as I talk, I don't ever drop a dime, bitch. Bitch, I got character. Bitch, I got integrity. That's why my circle's small and only the realest mess with me. Any who think less of me ain't never sat down and met with me. All right, man. Last segment of this stupid long episode. Like I just said, some new hip hop has come out. Schoolboy Q dropped that what's it called? Crash Talk. And then Bun B and Static Selector come out with I don't even know, you just told me about this like 2 days ago. What's it called?
The Bun B TrillStatik.
TrillStatik, okay. And then we could talk about fuck it. We talked about when J. Cole dropped that one song, that one single a couple months ago. We talked about that, so we could touch on that Logic and Eminem too.
Yeah, might as well. I've only spun it twice, but
yeah, I've heard it once.
You can chop it up.
Let's get that out the way. It's one song. It's called Homicide. Logic comes in and he drops a couple N-bombs, which I think is a first for Logic for me. And
yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I haven't listened to Logic in a while, but
yeah,
okay, Logic. That's like Professor Hulk. Like that's what we're at,
right?
That's what we're doing.
I don't know. It's weird, like the choice to do that on here. Like his content isn't really. I'm biracial. I'm Logic. Everybody love me. He's spitting fast. He's trying to like show that he can hang with Eminem, which shit, he did.
They did, yeah. As far as like rhyming.
And then M come in and killed it. And then they put what's his name, like Chris. I don't remember his last name. He's a comedian. He's been in a couple shows, been in a couple movies, and he's done this Eminem impression that they put at the very end of the song. That was pretty funny. Overall, I thought the track was dope.
I thought it was dope too. But was that? I thought that at the end was like something that kind of went viral on Twitter or whatever, where somebody was like making fun of Eminem.
Nah, like this dude is I don't know if he's a stand-up comic. I don't know if he's just a comedic actor. But he's out there, and I don't know if he was just messing around. I don't think there was like ill intent behind it.
But there's like a video of it too, like right?
Yeah, I think he's in like a garage in a hoodie, just like goofing off.
Yeah, I would say I thought I saw a video. I had no idea who the guy was. I thought he was just being a smart ass. Like I didn't know he was a comedian or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they played at the end of the song. I'm like, is that one motherfucker like that was making a stupid ass video? And I was like, that is him, isn't it? So yeah, that was kind of funny that they put that in there at the end or whatever. But it was a dope song. Like you said, Logic dropping the end word or whatever. Like that's a first, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not the first, but like, first for me is looking at Logic.
I swear,
the Logic bandwagon. I think Logic is stupid talented.
You put me on it.
Yeah, I kind of fell off of Logic. He's talented, man. He's got skills. You can't deny him. He can rap his ass off.
I feel like
he's just like that. I don't know, man. He's
like Under Pressure, The Incredible True Story, and like whatever mixtapes in between where I mixed. I don't want to talk about it. And then like everybody came out and what's it called? Young Sinatra 4 and everything, Bobby Tarantino 2, everything in between that was I'm biracial. And now he's just full on N-bomb. There is an evolution.
I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I like Logic. I think he's talented. but I think he doesn't really have a thing like most.
I get
rappers
it,
have a
yeah.
thing. Like most rappers have a lane. And I think when he was first coming out, like he kind of had a lane, and then I don't know what happened, but he thought
He got popular.
he got an idea. He got an idea of like, well, maybe I should be in this lane, or maybe I should take my lane and make it bigger. And
I get it.
I honestly, I don't know what's going on with Logic because like I'm in my 30s and I went back to school. I'm in school right now, so as an old school hip hop head, I like Logic. I respect him. He's just not really my thing.
Yeah.
So I'm in class and I look over at the kid who's like 21, 22 years old, and he's got on a fucking Everybody hoodie. Like, respect, bro. Like, respect.
Yeah.
But that's like that's like Logic to me right now. Like he's all about the younger kids,
I feel you.
younger audience, whatever. Which is cool, man. Like respect, man.
Man,
Like for real.
get your paper, get your spins, streams, as they say. All right, man. Listen, you bumped this Schoolboy Q. I bought Oxymoron. I really wasn't feeling it, so I haven't really like checked for Schoolboy Q since then. Like, what's up with his album features? What you think about it? All that.
That album, I'm kind of the opposite of you. Like I kind of skimmed over the album. I thought it was an okay album. I didn't really invest too much into it. But when Blank Face came out, I thought Blank Face was amazing. I thought it was a super dope album. I think I might have said this in the group chat. I think I might have said that like if this came out like when we were in high school, like we would look back on this as like one of our favorite albums because I just feel like that like kind of resembled like where we at in our lives or whatever at that kind of point. Like I feel like the album was fun. It had a flavor to it. It had a style. And I always want to say this. Like, I think Schoolboy Q has one of the best voices in hip hop right now. Now, I don't mean voices in like what he says,
Like inflection,
like his content, but I mean like his actual voice. Like I feel like his voice is fucking dope.
I knew what you were
He
saying.
has a dope ass voice, man. I fucking love this dude's voice. And this album right here, like there's a couple songs that are like chopsticks. When I first heard it, like I really didn't like. But now I've spun it like 6 or 7 times the album. Like I actually enjoy the song. And there's maybe 1 or 2 in the middle that were the same way. Like they're kind of like pop songs, kind of like for radio or whatever. I didn't really like them, but I've come to kind of like enjoy them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like the first like 2 tracks, the first 2 tracks are probably by far my favorite tracks in the whole album. But then he has a song. He has a song about halfway through where he's talking about like wasted, and it's kind of like I don't want to go. I don't want to touch on it too much, but like he's got some. I don't want to give anything away, but he's got a lot of stuff on here that's kind of deep, which you don't really think of. I don't want to hand it out, sound like being a hater, but he has some deep tracks on here that are like, wow, I wasn't expecting this from Schoolboy Q. Like he has some deep tracks on here, and he really has subject matter and lyrical content that is like, it's dope. I actually think when upon first or maybe second, I was like, this isn't as good as the last album. But now I've listened to it about 6 or 7 times, and I think it's better than Blank Face. I think it's better.
I think the cover art is dope. That's all I know.
He's always got dope cover art, though.
For real.
In my opinion, he does.
I don't know if it's the black and yellow Bumblebee Pittsburgh Steelers color scheme or what. I don't know. Yeah, cover art was dope to me.
He's always got dope. Yeah, he's always got dope art.
Moving on to Bun.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a couple things. I don't know. The whole Crash Talk, like.
Final thoughts.
Yeah. Final thoughts. I'd probably give it a 3.5, maybe a 4. He's got 21 Savage on there. He's got
Kendrick.
Kid Cudi's on there. Who else is on there? Black is on there.
Other Top Dog features.
Kendrick's not on there. I think Kendrick might be like sampled in there, but he doesn't have like a hook or anything like that. I mean, you hear his voice obviously, but it's like Crash Talk Take 1, and he's got like Crash Talk Take 2, Crash Talk Take 3, and like these like different chapters or sections of the album or whatever. And it's really dope the way he did it, man. It's only 14 tracks.
Okay.
I think his last album was like 17 or 18 tracks. I don't have a look. I haven't listened to it in a while. But I think this one is slightly better than his last album. And yeah, I like Schoolboy Q, man. He's dope. Like he's got a, I don't know what it is about his voice and his delivery and his style. But yeah, I fuck with Schoolboy Q, man. I like Schoolboy.
Man, who's like the third fiddle? Like I know like Kendrick, Schoolboy, those are like the top two draws for top dog. Like, but they got like one more artist out there. I can't think of their name right now.
J-Rock.
There you go. And then with TrillStatik, you said it's like a prime type album, right?
Yeah. And like I won't even front. Like I've only been bumping this for maybe like 4 or 5 days now. I had no idea about this album. Like Bun came out like last year.
Yeah.
Like, you thought the Bun was really dope. He made the top 5 albums of last year. I liked the Bun a lot last year too. Honestly, I don't remember how I stumbled upon this. Maybe it was a Twitter ad, which was like super weird because usually I don't get like music on my Twitter ads.
One of those sponsored tweets.
Yeah, the promoted tweets or whatever. I think it popped up on that, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I just kind of looked it up, and I pulled it up on iTunes, and I was like, "Oh shit,
let's go."
New Bun B, like all day. But yeah, this album is dope, man. This album is really, really good, and I was born 1986. 80s baby, raised in 90s, Bun B, Pimp C, R.I.P., UGK. Like, I fuck with some Bun B. But yeah, this album is classic Bun B with fucking Static Selector on the production and a guest spot on every track, and all of them are so money, man. Every spot, I think, maybe other than the first, like the introduction, has like a guest spot on it. But you listen to the intro and Bun B, oh, you're like from the get go, you're like, oh yeah, this album be the truth right here, man. And it's a dope ass album, man.
Bro, like before I had all my medical stuff, I'm getting back into the groove, going back to work, and I've been bumping like all 3 RTJ albums for the week. KOD came out 1 year anniversary. I was bumping that. I'm gonna get his Bun some play for a couple weeks.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. And it has to be like, I don't know the exact day that it came out, but it has to be within like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No joke. It has to be because Fat Joe has a verse on here where he's talking about the church in Notre Dame burning down. Like he
just happened.
He has a bar like, yeah, he had a bar that was like, I'm on fire like Notre Dame or something like that. Like I just totally butchered that. That's not what he said, but it was along those lines. You know what I mean? And fucking Fat Joe, like, what's up, Fat Joe? Like, where you been? Like, he spits a verse on here. You're like, Joey Crap. Like,
Fat Joe is underrated, man.
Super underrated. Method Man is on here. Uncle Murder, Big Crit. Like I said, we were talking about earlier. Big Crit, Talib Kweli is on here. There's so many guest spots on here. Paul Wall fucking blessed the album.
Paul Wall, baby.
I'm not the biggest Paul Wall fan.
Nah.
I'm really not. But when he came on this track and did his
thing,
I was right back in like 2007, like 2008. It's like Drive Slow. Like that. I was on.
Yeah. I was about to say Kanye Late Registration.
Man, it took me down memory lane. Like this album, if you like Southern rap, if you like Bun B, if you like UGK, if you like real hip hop, man, like this album, like it's fun as hell, man. It's a good time. It's a really dope album. Right. I gotta give it like 4. Personally, I'll give it a 4. I wouldn't, but part of me is like, I'm biased. I love Bun B. He's probably in my top 10.
Yeah,
like, I'd give it a 4.5. But realistically, it's probably like a 3.5 or 4. But I don't know, like Bun B. Me personally, I give it like a 4.5. Like I fucking love this album, man. It's good. It's really good.
I think that's what I want to start
and
doing.
It's summertime. Are you serious? Like, man, throw this in your ride, man. Roll the windows down, man. Pull up to a red light and just let the motherfucker next to you like hear what you're listening to, man. Like, for real, this album is really good, really good.
When hip hop news is like real slow, like it usually is in my opinion, I think like for the hip hop segments, I just want to start like doing like a artist appreciation, man. We'll just pick an artist and then just talk about their whole career.
Yeah, that would be dope. Like I kind of bounce this off you and Mary in the group chat or whatever. I kind of want to go back and like do like reviews on like entire catalogs of artists, man. Like I think that'd be really dope to do.
That was like a side idea, though, right? You want to do that during an episode, or you want to like?
Shit, I just think it'd be dope to do, man. Like,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But yeah, real quick. So Schoolboy Q, the Bun B, Static Selector, Eric Sermon. What?
Eric Sermon on this?
Eric Sermon dropped the album, bro.
Eric Sermon dropped the album?
2019 is called Vernia.
Okay.
I don't know. This is literally like 7 hours ago. I stumbled upon this. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you how, but it's story time. Fuck it. I'm cutting grass. All right. I got a lot of grass to cut. It takes me about an hour and a half to cut grass. I'm going to listen to some music. I don't know why. I was in the old school Def Jam mode. I want to listen to some old school Def Jam. So I get on Apple Music. I search Eric Sermon. Eric Sermon, Keith Murray. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
like,
Redman, EPMD shit.
Jam. I search Eric Sermon. New album pops up. I'm like, what?
What is this?
What? So I listen to this album. Man, this album is fun. Keith Murray, Raekwon, big crits on here. Exhibit,
Yeah.
Shaq spits a verse.
Hold on, Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq spits a verse. Shaq fool.
Like the Big Diesel.
Here, man. This album, Too Short's on here, I believe.
Bitch.
Maybe I think like I said, I was cutting grass. I really wasn't looking on my phone. I thought I heard Devin the Dude, but yeah, this album is good. Like I won't front, I won't lie. I want to listen to it one time. I was cutting my grass, like it was like a spur of the moment type of thing. But yeah, this album was fun. It's definitely something I want to add to my catalog, I want to add to my library. I'm going to check it out. But yeah, Eric Sermon, it's called Vernia, 2019. I don't know exactly when it came out, but if you like old school Def Jam from the 90s, late 90s, the early 2000s, like, man, add this shit to your library. It's fun, man. Shaq puts a verse on there. Like, yeah, Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq got bars.
Shaq got bars.
Shaq got bars. Hashtag Shaq got bars. Rec League Podcast. Man, we covered some Logic, some Eminem. We covered some damn Schoolboy Q, Bun B, Static Selector, TrillStatik, and surprise appearance by Eric Sermon. That's probably the most hip hop we talked about since our 5 favorite albums of the year in December. That's gonna put a lid on this episode number 16, Rec League Podcast, man. Come back in 2 weeks. I'll have a new show prepped up, so just chill until the next episode.